apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuned to the Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man, Kill. I got my squad with me in effect today. My brother Eddie out of LA. What's going on, good fam?
Yo, what's good, Kill?
No doubt. The Philadelphia legend, Trey Lee in the building. Apartment 5B lawyers.
Yes,
what's going on, man? That squad.
Ain't nothing, man. You know, same old. Good to be back around my homies, man. Just talking and chopping it up. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. We got my brother out of Chicago, who I know Eddie believes this. I believe this. If you ask me who's repping Chicago right now, hip hop wise, is I Am God right there. New album out, extremely dope. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, whenever somebody asks me about Chicago, is this man? People be like, yay, calm. I'm like, yo, them days is over, my nigga. We on to the now right now. So definitely, what's going on, good brother?
I'm good. Salute the legends, though. But I'm in here. Happy to be here again on the Apartment 5B podcast with the guys, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. No doubt. You already know me. We're going to get right into it. A minute ago, we did a show about the dopest piano samples used in hip-hop. And I posted probably this week and got into a lot of dope conversations, bringing up joints. Because, I mean, we talking top 5. I mean, there are over 1 million hip-hop songs. So everybody was coming with different joints. Like, oh, I forgot about that. I was like, well, let's keep it moving. Me being a producer, understanding the different parts of it. Let's chop it up today about what are the 5 dopest bass lines in hip hop and R&B. If you got any R&B joints, from the production standpoint, I'm gonna talk a little bit about how the bass lines have changed and certain things certain producers do versus what other producers do for their bass lines and everything like that. But yo, I Am God. Why don't you set us off, good brother? What's one of your favorite hip hop bass lines and why?
One of my favorites. All right, so I got the 5. Let me pick one. I'm gonna just kick it off, man. I'm gonna kick it off with this one. Snoop and Dre, Deep Cover.
Ah, God,
yeah, man.
You took that as my number 1, but it's all good. Good, man.
Dre, man, like in them the late 80s and them early to the mid 90s, man, Dre was in a different type of bag, man. It's just something, it's hard for me to explain it, but every time I hear it, it's just like a feel to it. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of people describe music as a vibe. Like, it's just certain elements. Like, I'm a fan of like electric guitar. I'm a fan of like piano riffs in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan of certain instrumentation and elements of production when it comes to rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just like that joint right there, like it's a classic to start off with. But then, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you throw that joint on right now today, like motherfuckers don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention what Pun and Joe, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Pun, they redid it and all that. But it's like, I know we specifically talking about bass lines, but it's like, man, like that joint is just like, it's unique. You know what I'm saying? It's just unique. Like, I always love that joint, and definitely the bass was one of the reasons why I love that joint. Like, Dre just knew how to put it together. Not saying he don't know more, but back then, like, he was putting that shit together like on some different shit.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That was definitely my number 1 because and what I loved you said about it, like the feel that comes with it. Because as soon as I hear that doom 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 doom, like doom doom, I could feel it, and then the drums hit, and it's just like the first time I'm hearing Snoop, it's like, yo, who is this? Like, it kind of came out of nowhere, like how Trey was talking earlier about Lil Lucy joint. Like, it wasn't on Niggas for Life. It was pre-Chronic, so it was like, yo, it's from the movie with Larry Fishburne, Deep Cover and everything like that. So it's just like, and that, like I said, bro, that bass line, the just everything about it, that's one of those perfect hip hop songs. Like you said, Dre's ear and just engineering, and being able to just make everything sound so incredibly good and loud. Like it's just that's something I don't think. I mean, people talk about, but I don't think it gets talked about enough from the engineering standpoint that what Dre is able to do. Because for people who don't know, most producers have an engineer. Just Blaze has Young Guru, Primo had Eddie Sancho, Pete had Jamie Staub. Like most producers have that assistant coach. You know, it's that Doc River. You know, it's that Phil Jackson Tex Winters type thing. You know what I mean? Where Dre is his own engineer. He's the producer and the engineer. And that's just an amazing thing for me. So definitely deep cover on there. Let me see if I get Rel in here. Rel, you good?
Y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, there you go. Trey Lee, what's going on, good brother?
Ain't nothing, man. So
what's one of your favorite hip hop bass lines, man?
I'm gonna give you my number one because we're not doing all five. We're going one. Yeah. So my number one is really clear, and it's like a East Coast, like it's a bounce, and it's an East Coast bounce that's been since the mid '80s. Dougie Fresh used it first time I heard it, but it's an old break, man. Kenny Burke, Keep Rising to the Top. That never gets old. 50 just used it for the show. You know what I'm saying? For the Rat the King. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an East Coast bop. That will never. You can use that joint 20 years from now. It'll still bop. You know what I'm saying? So that's my number one clear. It ain't even close for me. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the MC is concerned, like that's a pocket joint. I would destroy that joint every single time because there's so many flows and things that I can do with that joint and just have fun with it. You know what I mean? So it's Keep Rising to the Top, Kenny Burke all day. And you know, there's other people that sample it too. So yeah.
Right. No doubt. Ro, what you got for us, brother?
My first joint, Electric Relaxation. It's out called Quest, man. One of my favorite beats all time. That, you know, the bass line is just, you know, it's just groovy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, the title of the song fits perfectly. You know what I'm saying? It's just chill, and that bass line from I can't remember the sample. I think his name Ronnie Foster is where the sample came from. But that bass line is serious, man. Like, you know, that whole Midnight Marauders album could have probably made this list, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite genres, Electric Relaxation.
Yeah, it's funny. Eddie hit me earlier today, like, yo, man, Tribe could just own this whole show. Like, literally. You know what I mean? Like, you literally could just run down almost all their joints and bass lines like that. Real quick, did you have an R&B joint, or all your joints are just hip hop?
No, I got R&B too.
No, God, what was your R&B joint? What's one of your R&B joints too?
R&B, let me see. I'm gonna go with some OG shit. Bill Withers, Lovely Day. That's my shit. That's my shit right there. Yeah, that shit is. Anytime I hear that, like that, come on, man. Like Twista sampled it. You know what I'm saying? It's been remade. I think was it Kirk Franklin? Yeah, like it's been redone so many times, but that just it's how it come on. It's just like that shit is immaculate right there. I love that.
Right, yeah, man. Right. Excellent choice. Excellent
Gratitude.
Yeah,
One thing, you know, I'm sorry about with Twitter and YouTube, you can't really play the music. So prayerfully for people who don't know these bass lines, you know, write them down, go YouTube them. You know what I mean? Look them up and see what we saw about. I would love this one of the times I wish we was all in the same spot, had a DJ. The DJ could spin it live right there. Thanks. So you could really see people get hype about it. So that's one of the things I regret. But, you know, definitely look these joints up. Eddie, what you got for one of yours, good brother?
All right. So we already went into the Tribe bag. So I'm going to get mine. Like I said, man, I could have did my whole list, but I'm going to limit it. But the one I'm going to go with is Excursions, man. Like, and the way, you know, the thing about that is that's what kicks off the whole album. You know, iconic classic album, and it gets kicked off with that bass line. You know, funk.
Yeah.
Back in the days when I was a teenager.
Before I had status.
Before I had a
and before I had a
pager.
pager. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
so
And Eddie, you got an R&B joint?
R&B, yeah, I got a few. I guess I'll go with "Fantasy" by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
Y'all picking some good ones right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's do something crazy. First joint I'm going with, man, Gangstar DeWitt, man. Whenever DeWitt used to come on, you know, 92, I'm a freshman at Morgan. Like, as soon as, you know, you hear the bass line first, the drums, Gangstar's got to be the short shot, and it's just like, throughout the whole joint, I mean, just classic Posse Cup, man. You know what I mean? Just dope, crazy as hell. Definitely, you know, a party starter and everything like that. And on an R&B tip, for folk watching, because I know brothers up here know, but for folk watching, look up Marcus Miller. Did a lot of work with Luther Vandross. I mean, it worked with everybody. Beyonce, he just did some stuff for Beyonce on the last Lemonade album, but Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. That bass line for Never Too Much.
That's that joint.
Right, exactly. So people who don't know, look the man up, Marcus Miller. That's you talk about great bass lines. You can't go wrong with that. God, what you got for your next joint for the hip hop and R&B? One apiece, if you got them.
For the next joint, I'm gonna go with that man Dre again. Let Me Ride. That's one of my favorite Dre joints ever.
Yeah, that's top five for me. That's top five.
Creeping down the back street on D's, like, man, like. I mean, man, bro, like, it ain't really that much I can say, because like I said with the last one, it's a feel, bro. It's a vibe. It's hard for me to put it into words. I just know when I hear that shit, it's like I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving. I can't sit still for that shit. I gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just that's the era that I really started coming into my own. It was well, years later. That was, you know what I'm saying, early on, before I could understand it. But that's what I went back and started doing my homework on the early 90s shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like getting that Chronic and Dre. I could go on about that shit, man. But yeah, Let Me Ride, bro. Like,
let me ride top five Dre beat to me, man. That thing is just perfect, man. The drums, just everything about it. You know what I mean? Dope pick. You got another R&B joint?
Yeah. So for this one, I'm gonna go new school with this one. I picked for my most recent joint, I got No Worries, which is Anderson Paak and Knowledge Suede. That's my shit. Yeah, that's
No Worries, man. Yo. I love it. I love their energy together, man.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And for cats, if cats ain't heard it, No Worries, yo. Straight up and down. That's Anderson Paak and Knowledge. And them dudes just, they pop
a chameleon, bro. I think you could really pair him up with damn near anybody. Like, if you got some sort of talent, like, Anderson gonna match you, bro. Like, cause he got the soul, he got the little poppy shit, he got the rock shit, he got the rap shit. Like, dude is really a underrated genius. I'm surprised he ain't. I just knew he was gonna like blow crazy like a couple years ago, and he known, but I don't feel like he at the level where he should be. And I don't know what that's due to, but to me, Anderson is underrated like a motherfucker.
I think this joint with Bruno Mars, because that was like my most anticipated album for the rest of 2021, was that joint. Because I mean, that Lead the Door Open is just classic. So I think pairing him with Bruno, like Bruno, I was looking at tickets to see Bruno down at the MGM, like floor seats like 900. I'm like, God damn, so maybe this joint will get Pac in that place. The crazy thing is, I remember when Dre's Compton came out, and a lot of people didn't like, because they was like, yo, he ain't introduced us to No MC like how we would do with him. It's like, yo, that nigga introduced me to Anderson Paak. That was good enough for me, because I ain't know who Anderson Paak was before Compton. You know
I was
what I mean?
on him a little bit before that with his like what was the joints he was putting out? I think it was like Malibu. Yeah, Malibu and like what was it, Venice? I think those two came out. I was
Ventura's the most recent one, I think.
Yeah, Ventura. He got some joints on Malibu and Venice though. That's how I got up on him.
Right, but I mean, for me after Compton, that's when I was like, yo, who's this Pac dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I agree with you, man. That joint is dope. That joint is dope. So cats ain't heard No Worries, please check that out. Love that album. I think they cooking up something new now too. So Pac all over the place. You know, Bruno Mars, Knowledge everywhere. And what I love is it's not like I'm with Bruno Mars, now I can't fuck with Knowledge. On some Stones Throw shit. You know what I mean? It's on some old, I'll bounce back and forth from Bruno, one of the biggest stars, go down here and fuck with somebody a lot of people ain't never even heard of before, you know, to make
chameleon, bro.
Yeah. Trey, what you got for another joint, bro?
All right, so most of mine are like combos. They you know, they're sampled by, you know, hip hop artists, but you know, they're classic bass lines from R&B cats. And the second one I'm going with is "Don't Look Any Further," Dennis Edwards, and you know that's paid in full, man. Do 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 do. I mean, you know what it is when it come on, man. It's like it's self-explanatory, you know what I mean? So thinking of a master plan, but you know,
it gets inside my head.
So I mean, like again, all of these bass lines that we're talking about, you know, as soon as you hear the first lick, you know what it is, and this is no exception, man. Don't look any further. Dennis Edwards, for all the kids out there, if you don't know where it came from that. You know what I mean?
You know, the funny thing about that, Trey, that you bring up that joint, you know, it's one of those times where it's funny because, like, I was trying to explain this to somebody when Biz passed away, where it was like, you know, how y'all calling him a legend and he ain't write his rhymes? You know what I mean? But then y'all kill everybody for not writing their rhymes now, you know? And what I was trying to explain to him is, like, from a biblical standpoint, I'm like, sex is the only time that in the Bible it's a sin at sometimes and a blessing in the other times. So that's the only thing that changes. And I'm like, it's similar with hip hop. I said, yo, when we was coming up, if all five of us was a group and Rel and Eddie didn't rap, we the three of us ain't gonna kick our two best friends out the group just because they don't rap. Like, no, we'll be like, yo, we'll write your shit for you. Like that's just what it was. So it was a different era than it is right now when everything is bars, lyrics, you know, like, you know, we're gonna talk about it later, but like even those Royce Ransom calls, like the stuff they talking about, like I'm like, what the fuck is that? Or like, you know, so it just was a different time. You know what I mean? So it's a different time that it was okay to write rhymes. The reason I bring that up is because, you know, as producers, a lot of times it's always like us boom bappers killed Puff for that. We killed Puff for the 90s when it's like, yo, all this nigga just looping up is I'm coming out and all this, you not digging in the crates. But then I'm like, yo, you gotta remember, Rakim sampled Dennis Edwards in 86. The joint dropped in 84. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was only 2 years. But the difference with that was like sampling was so new that it was kind of like people that didn't do the knowledge of the crates and all of that stuff yet. So it was just like, and what I was explaining to my guy too is that you have to understand so many things that a lot of people rhymed off of in the 80s were park jams. Yeah. They would just be like, yo, we gonna rhyme over. And I always tell the story about how in Queens, New York, Queens especially, they would call Bob James the Mardi Gras rocking the bells because it's the bells of the Mardi Gras break. So would tell the DJ, yo, I want to rock the bells, which would let the DJ know, yo, that means he wants to listen to Mardi Gras. Which is why Peter Piper, when you listen to Run DMC, you hear the scratching because they were emulating a park jam. So just for people wondering, like, yo, how was that not foul? Was because at that point we didn't know. We were like, yo, we're now taking what we did in the park into the studio. You know what I mean? And everybody wasn't digging like they were in the later 90s. So it was just, you'd be like, yo, I want to rock that break. Like, yo, we used to rock. A lot of people don't know. Marley was talking about how the Samandi sample for Master Ace, Just Me and the Biz. Marley was like, yo, that's what my brother would play in the park all the time. You know what I mean? Like, what you gonna say, Trey?
And just to keep it simple, man, it's a groove, man. It's a groove. It's an undeniable groove. So why not? Let's rock with it. The people love it. You see them rocking out. That's what the whole hip hop. That's what hip hop is built on. It's built on people vibing off of what you're doing and the music that's playing and what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, you know, for producers out there, you know what I mean, it is good to dig and find those breaks and be creative with it. But sometimes you find that one break, you ain't got to do nothing to it. Just let it ride.
And keep in mind,
eat it up.
And keep in mind, I agree with you, but in the 90s, that was sacrilegious. That was unheard of because here's a funny story. I don't know if y'all remember the Smith & Wesson remix to Recognize when they're rhyming over just the two of us. They're rhyming over that. Still went to Walt and Evil D, the beat miners, and was like, yo, loop this up. They was like, we ain't looping that shit up. Like, we don't do that shit. We don't do that. Like, and again, from a
Contradiction.
production standpoint in the 90s, that was sacrilegious. You just
Contradiction.
don't.
They
Yeah, you
did
just
the
don't.
same thing. They did the same thing
with
with how
the
many
Barry White,
MCs.
right? With the Barry White. With the
And
Barry
it was
White.
how many MCs?
But I mean, with the how many MCs, the difference is that I don't know if everybody knew that Hydra Grover Washington compared to just the two of us.
So you're going to what the popular one was, as opposed to what is popular, but it's the same concept. All you're doing is just taking that break and finding that sweet spot and letting it ride. They ain't do nothing with it.
But to me, that's the whole concept of hip hop, though. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
That's
No, but what I mean is that you're finding that sweet spot that nobody ever heard before. Like Come Clean is nothing but a loop. I remember when I first heard Come Clean, the rumors was, yo, Primo put the fucking mic up to the water drop. He sampled this from the water drop, and it was all these rumors about how Primo did all this. And then I find the Shelly Man record, and I'm like, that shit just a loop. So again, I don't never have a problem with a loop. The problem in the 90s was when you loop something that's popular, that you already know is a hit, because that's what Tone and Poke used to do. Tone was the partier in the track master, so he would be at the clubs, hear the DJ play an old school set, see everybody go crazy, then he'd go back to Poke and be like, yo, we sampling Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out, because everybody's gonna love it, which was the exact opposite of what Primo, P, Q-Tip, all of them was doing, digging through all these records, trying to find that break that nobody has ever heard in their life, and making that. So that's why I was just saying it was just sacrilegious in the 90s, but this is just the movement and the waves of hip hop, because in the 80s there was nothing wrong with it. Nobody, no listener, I didn't listen to Paid in Full and go, man, that's just Dennis Edwards, because I knew the song, but you was just like, yo, that's Paid in Full, that's crazy, because I don't know. And maybe that's a show, like, where did these strenuous rules come from?
I think it depended, because you could pick a popular sample even in the 90s that if it rocked, it rocked. I just think it depended on the sample. Like the I'm Coming Out, there were dynamics in that particular sample that was just too, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like you said with the Barry White joint, you know what I'm saying? When they looped that had been done millions of times before, but that is so funky that it never misses. It never misses. I don't care. You can use it now and it won't miss because of that particular sample. It's just that funky that people will ignore it and be like, ooh, it still feels right. So it really just depends on, it could be a popular sample. In my opinion, it could be a popular sample, but it just depends on how it feels. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I low-key got into it with I got into it with not got into it, but a little back and forth on Twitter, because I put up a post about reflecting on it was written. I can't believe, I was a shorty at the time, but I can't believe motherfuckers was fronting on this. It was written, to me, that's a dope ass body of work that's hard to compete with. So it's
some would argue it's his best work. Some would argue it's his best work.
I'm one of the ones that I like. It was written better than Illmatic. Now I understand a masterpiece that Illmatic is. I'm not denying it whatsoever. But for me, being a 35-year-old male, being 11 in 96, 10 in 96, it's that shaped what the standard MC's hip hop rap album was. It was written in Cuban links and shit like that, Ready to Die. Those albums shaped what the contemporary rap album would be, which is contemporary rap albums is what I grew up on. Mm-hmm. Everything was a contemporary rap album after that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of when I said that, a lot of dudes was I even pointed out the fact that he sampled some of the most hip hop shit, regardless if it was mainstream hip hop at the time. He fucking sampled Houdini. You know what I'm saying? So it's how could he be a sellout? And the dude was that's the whole purpose. He sold out because he didn't sample no raw shit. He went from Primo and Pete Rock to sampling Houdini. I'm like, bro, it's still hip hop. I'm just saying, bro, that's what I'm talking about.
But that's the thing. At that time, bro, that's what I mean by, that time in producing wise and with Backpackers, at that point, it literally was I'll give you a great example. Yao is probably around your age, 35, 36. Yao was telling me he doesn't have a problem if Drake doesn't write his own rhymes.
That's different.
Now, the 47-year-old in me is nah, nigga, I don't know what you're talking about. You got to write your own rhymes. So I always tell folk all the time, number one, it's about how you were raised. Because this game gets so deep and dirty. We can go into, one of my OGs came over years ago was going through my crates. He's like, "Kill, what's this?" I was like, "Oh, that's the reissue. I couldn't find the original." That nigga threw that shit away, broke that shit. Like, nigga, we don't do no reissues, nigga. If you can't find the original, keep fucking digging. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know." So guess what? Through all these motherfucking crates. JR was over my crib one time. He was going through the crates. He found a reissue, and I was like, "You can have that shit. I don't do reissue." That's just the way I was raised. There's another producer who's 47 years old and like, nigga, if I can't find the original, I'm gonna buy the reissue because that's how he was. Like, hip hop in these pockets of rules are like everywhere. But like I said, at that time, it was that bad because I remember when If I Ruled the World came out, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, how you just gonna sample Friends?" And then seeing Curtis Blow If I Ruled the World. Whereas I was like, the rest of the album is incredible. That's what I don't get why people front on It Was Rigged. Because the rest of that album is incredible. And I believe, this is how bad it is. I believe it was because it said produced by the track.
That's why.
I think reputation was get motherfuckers at that point in time.
But the point I'm making with that is, but the point I'm making with that is, that's how bad people hated people who just looped popular stuff. That's how bad that it was, that it just saying your name and your name being next to, "Oh, those the niggas who just loop all the shit that we play at the barbecue." That's how sacrilegious it was. Because I got It Was Written before it came out. And I'm in my mom's basement listening like, ooh, I thought Large Professor did watch them niggas. I knew RZA did shootouts. I was like, oh, this shit got RZA all over. So when I got the actual CD and I saw produced by Trackmaster, I was like, yo, I just gained so much more respect for them because it was the flip of everybody else. Everybody else got the album was like,
this is an interesting topic because there's so much contradiction, especially in the 90s. Like you said with Houdini in the back package, but then Biggie hits One More Chance and people lose their mind. You see what I'm saying?
Yo, the funny thing is, I came across an interview. With Biggie on YouTube, and someone was asking him about like, going commercial and all that. Do you feel like the pressure to keep it up? He was like, remember, he's like, my first single was Juicy, and it was on that, R&B stuff. So like, if I could come out with that, then you could expect whatever you want. Like, I could do whatever, you know what I mean? He's like, I'm still gonna give you the raw, but I'm gonna show you other stuff. Yeah.
But I just think it's the feel of the sample. It's the particular feel of the sample as well, man. Like, you could catch a popular sample, and if it feel good, you can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the bar sample felt so good. Like even the hardest of the hard rocks had to be like, oh.
But the thing is too, Trey, and I like what you were saying, God, about contemporary rap albums, because that's to me when I began to understand that underground artists have to put out that radio-friendly single. I remember Ghostface having that song with Carl Thomas and he and Cord, and everybody was like, "Oh, Ghost sold out." I'm like, it's just a video. It's just what he got to do to get the album out. Trust me, the bulk of the album is gonna be that regular Ghostface shit we love. But this is just what he has to do. And to me, that's what Nas did, because there's no other looping on that. Live Nigga Rap may be one of the hardest songs with P and Nas and Havoc on it. How you gonna front on It Was Written? But that's what I mean by it got so bad. And Trey, you talk about contradiction. I'm like, so how does LES get to produce Sugar Hill for AZ, looping Sugar Free, and everybody love it? But if the Trackmasters did this, if this was produced by the Trackmasters, y'all would have shitted on that. Here's the wild part. I was the only nigga in 93, 94, whenever Illmatic came out. I didn't like Life's a Bitch. I like AZ, but I'm like, how y'all just gonna loop up the Gap Band? Like, there's digging, there's all this mysterious shit going on everywhere else. But, and again, I bet you if it said produced by the Trackmasters, but see the guy, and
that felt like, and to me, that was one of my favorite cuts on the album, because it was the Gap Band, and it felt like a warm blanket. It felt good.
I get
I'm just trying to set the stage for you, the way, the mindset that the beat miners would even be like. I'm not, and if you look at the production of that Smith & Wesson remix, it says produced by Still, because they was like, we don't do that. I'm not just looping just the two of us. Our name, because it got so, it used to get so dirty with production back in the day. They said that, I think it was Diamond, had a real live beef with the beat miners. Because they was like, Diamond was like, I left my drum reel in the studio. Y'all niggas came in next. Show me the record y'all used for the drums for Smith & Wesson's Bucktown. Because I think you stole them off of my reel. And Walt had to go find the record, like, boom, there's the record. This is how serious it was with that producer. And again, I don't think, it's almost like a fraternity. The fraternity don't give a fuck about what nobody else thinks. Right. You see what I'm saying? If you a Kappa, you don't care what nobody else thinks about you stepping with a cane or none of that shit. You are just in your, so the producer fraternity, that's what they were worried about. You know how you MCs be like, I rhyme so that another MC will respect my craft? That's how it was with that fraternity. So it was literally like, yo, I don't care what some kill think about me in Philly. I'm worried about what my contemporaries in the industry think about me. I don't want to see Buck Wild and him give me a side eye because I looped up just the two of us. So I don't do it. So it literally was that bad. But like Trey said, like I said, it was, to me, it was just unwarranted hate on the track mix. You know, I just, now that I'm older, I look at it like everybody had their lane. You know, everybody had their lane to do what they wanted to do. But again, at that time, it literally was like, it was almost like wearing a pair of fake Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything wrong with that? If you can't afford some real Jordans, you buy some fake Jordans. It's like buying a pair of fake Timbs. Like, that's how bad it was, that it was like, if you do this, you could be kicked out of our fraternity. And nobody in that Q-Tip, Heat Rock, Beat Miners, Beat Nuts, Primo, Clark Kent, Easy Mo B wanted to be kicked out of that fraternity. And that's what they were worried about.
And to your point, it really depended on your circle. Like you said, amongst a certain group of people, this is what they did. So it really depended on what circle you were in.
Right. I just want to say one last thing on that. I totally understand it without being of age at that particular time, because I found that I was raised by that, so I turned into that around like 2007, 2008, when shit started going towards the South. And no disrespect to the South, there's this artist that I love from the South. Now that I'm older and I understand what the music is, I hated where rap was going around that era. I mean, around that time, from 07, 08, maybe even a little before that. I hated where it was going. I talked down on all that shit. So I totally understand it. It's just, in retrospect, I question it, and I still question the motherfuckers who defending that shit today, to this day. It's like, rap had to expand, and it's gonna be a good and bad side to everything. Nothing is gonna change strictly for the best. It's gonna be some sellout shit that's truly trash, and it's gonna be some immaculate shit that come out of that shit too. It's just the fact that rap had to explode. It was no way we could have kept that shit our little secret on the block, our little underground thing. It's no way that shit could have been possible. I don't think it's no fucking timeline, no event in history that could have kept rap from blowing up and becoming mainstream, because it was too popular. The white kids wanted to do it from the burbs, and we loved it in the hood. So it covered all the bases. But I think too,
what you're talking about is, like you said, people had to evolve.
Facts.
I just tweeted this out today. I said, some days I think I'm too mature to be told. I was like, some days I think I'm too mature to be talking with y'all niggas on here. Cause y'all, I be talking with grown ass men, and I'm like, I said something today, like, I feel sorry for y'all wives and y'all girlfriends. Cause I don't know how they have conversations with grown ass men who sound like you 10 years old. Like, you know, and that's the thing, because trust me, in 1995, I never thought in 25 years I'd be sitting here defending the track masters. You know, but like you said, looking at the bigger picture, it's like, look, nigga Quest said, yo, at the Source Awards, he was like, yo, the way Nas sitting, he could tell he's gonna win for Lyricist of the Year. When that shit went to big, he said, Quest said, I could see the way Nas slumped in his chair that we wasn't gonna get another Illmatic. You know what I mean? Because another Illmatic just means you still living in Queensbridge. You know what I mean? And I can't expect you to just want to live in Queensbridge to keep it real for a whole bunch of niggas who don't know you. And I'm just giving you $15. You know what I mean? So you supposed to keep your family and everything in Queensbridge to keep it real with us? Like, nah, like I can't expect that. I was listening to the old mix today. I forget when Havoc said, you know, no matter how much loot I get, I'm staying in the projects forever. Beef on the block, proud never. That nigga living out on Long Island, man. Come on. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, that's cool. But, you know, again, like you said, Trey, very, very funny, because I'm like, yo, even with the Biggie thing, when Pete Rock be like, you know, they jack Juicy from me. I'm like, yo, so with niggas, I know people who love Big but hate Juicy. But I'm like, so would you have liked it if Pete did it? If it said produced by Pete Rock, it had harder drums, would you then be like, oh, I like Juicy? Again, it's just the track.
Contradictory, man.
Them niggas,
You know what?
people think this cancel culture is new. It's not. The track masters,
That's
they
alive
were
and well in hip
so
hop.
bad that if you were an underground artist and you got the track master, you might as well just throw your career away.
And the Hitmen get it too. The Hitmen get it too.
I think the Hitmen get it, but I don't think as bad because it was so many of them. So you had your D-Dot that was gonna still hit you with the Benjamins. You had your Nasheen Maverick that was gonna still hit you with the T-O-N-Y. You know what I mean? So I think like that was the thing with the Hitmen. Well, at least as I saw it, I was like, okay, Chucky and Stevie, they the R&B dudes. You know what I mean? Ride On Men, Derek, they kind of play the middle ground, and then Puff keep the Nasheen, you know, and another little digger over here. So it was almost like you got the perfect world. You got the dopest blend. Nasheen make a boom bap beat, send that shit right on to Chucky, have him put some chords on it, send that shit right to D-Dot, have him mix it. It's the best of both worlds.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's why I mean, me personally, I never had nothing but love for the hip. I don't know anybody who talks about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's why, because Puff understood you can't front on who shot you. You know what I mean? Like you can't. And when
Nasheen Maverick is in the Hitman, right?
Yeah. Nasheen Maverick did who shot
you can't front on where I'm from.
And that's what I mean. So T-O-N-Y, that was Nasheen Maverick. So you know, Puff kept somebody. He had another young boy, Young Lord, who was like that, like a young nigga dude. You know what I mean? So you just kept that balance. Rel, what's another bass line you got, good brother?
I got OC Time's Up. When that comes on, listen, man, like when that comes on, like I wish I was outside when that came out, because I know when the DJ put that on,
I'll let you know we lost our fucking mind.
I bet, yo, because that's crazy. That's timeless, man.
You wasn't outside then, bro? You wasn't outside then?
Nah, I was too young, man.
Too young, got you.
I was a young boy, man.
We was outside when that was on.
I was outside, y'all lucky, man.
Because when like you said, when that bass line dropped, I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? And then when Buckwild hit you with the da-dun, 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 you lacked the middle. Yo, bruh, it was like brain explosion. That brain explosion emoji, that's what it was. Like, I think me and Trey just shouted that out for like the best way to set off a song. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, you like the minerals and nice and fuck through that eye. Like, yo.
And see, you ain't even get into what he was saying. Like, that second verse, like, he kind of called out a lot of dude, like, you know what I'm saying? What did he say? Non-contextual, non-exceptional. Everybody's either gangster or sexual. Or something.
He said everybody's either crime related or sexual.
Crime related or sexual, man. Yeah, man.
And then with the Slick Rick, Dead Times Limited, Hard Rock too, bro.
Yeah, man. Like
crazy.
That John, that's one of my favorites. And I got one R&B John. That's All Night Long, Mary Jane Girls.
Never front on that.
That's
another one of them. That's another one of them.
Another one of them Jones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One of them Jones. You know what I'm saying?
And that joint got sampled a lot too. Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah. The drums all the time. You know, Mary used them. Kane used them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's that open drum beat, man. Don't even get me started. We talk about production, open drum beats. That's a whole nother.
Oh no.
Can you?
I'll just take James Brown anthology and we'll.
Oh man, yeah. See.
No. What I was saying was like, you know how like sometimes there would be a drum open and it would be like that's sacrilegious. You know what I mean? You can't. So if you're listening, like Trey, if I'm listening to your record and OJ's leave a drum open, a snare open, and I take that snare, that was sacrilegious. I didn't know that.
That was definitely sacrilegious.
I didn't know that. So that's the way that I was raised. Now here's the funny part, and it just goes to show you how when if a certain person says something, it's okay. Then if nobody says it. because Ski showed you on YouTube the Making of Dead Presidents, and he tells you, I took the snare from Tribe Called Quest, Oh My God, for Dead Presidents. And niggas was like, oh, and I'm like, no, don't do no shit. Don't do that. Because when I said I did it, I was the fucking devil. But now that Ski said he did it, it's like, oh, you can do that. Like, no, bring it back.
That's a fact. That same energy, yeah.
And the funny thing is, Dilla on Welcome to Detroit, in the liner notes, he tells you, I left the drums open to my beat heads out. I left them open for y'all to sample. So again, these rules are different everywhere because somebody made these rules in the Bronx.
They moved the goalposts.
How the hell did the same rule from the South Bronx make it all the way out to damn near, San Francisco and the Bay? Somewhere along, it's like a game of telephone. By the time we get to the 8th person, you ain't hearing the same thing. So everybody's pocket and their rules of hip hop are different. Again, like I said, based off the way that you were raised. The way that your OGs raised you. And I'm not saying nobody was raised right or wrong. It's just that's how you carry yourself.
Kill, they move the goalposts all the time.
I mean, yeah, they do that.
Hey, gotta be one of the most hypocritical cultures ever created. But
you know what, Trey?
A
reason why that happens a lot is because a lot of the OGs 40 and over aren't on Twitter. They're not on social media.
That's a fact.
So what happens is, and it's no disrespect to anybody under 40, but for a lot of people, one of the reasons me and Guy get along so much is because he does the research. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference. You have a lot of people who are under 40 who are like, yo, I know hip hop, I know everything. I'm creating these rules, I'm creating these narratives. But you don't have a lot of people our age, because people our age, like, I can't get with Twitter. I gotta talk to strangers and tell them where I am all the time, and that sounds stupid, So they can't really get in. So you don't have enough people talking about the Fat Boys. You don't have enough people talking about Houdini. You don't have enough people talking about the 80s. You leave it up to Twitter. Hip hop was invented in '94. Like, hip hop started with Illmatic. If you just go on Twitter, that is going to be where hip hop starts at. And if us OG don't stay on here and try to teach, that's going to be the narrative. Hip hop started in 1994.
You're right about that. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's
the motherfuckers that know gotta continue to spread the word. I don't care what new term they come up for you, old head, don't nobody want to hear that. Me personally, I'll follow. I'm just here trying to carry on tradition. I believe shit needs to evolve, and eventually shit is going to change, and it's not going to remain the same at all. But the facts is the facts, and if you have that knowledge, you got to continue to pass that shit down. I don't care what nobody say, because I don't want to live in a world where hip hop culture is new. Is what this motherfucker said every 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's updated every 15 minutes. I don't want to live in that world. Right. So if you got that culture, I respect it. Fuck what another motherfucker talking about. This shit real.
Yeah, it's like Men in Black, right? They come with a little thing. Hey, look here, brain white, boom. Now someone makes up new rules. Like, this is hip hop now. Nah.
Facts.
Yeah, the thing is, I told niggas, if the worst thing you can call me is old, my nigga, shit. I'm gonna tell you this. Part of Philly I'm from, I ain't even supposed to be here. I ain't supposed to be alive. I ain't supposed to have a family.
We from making it past. We from making it to 47 is almost unheard of. Like, a lot of people I came up with. You know what I'm saying?
Calling us old is the greatest compliment in the world.
Exactly. That's why I'm always telling niggas, calling me the old man, calling me the dinosaur, bro. That just means I ain't get shot in my fucking head when I was 18. Nice. Sorry about that. Sorry I lived, y'all, but y'all gonna have to come up with a better insult than that. So, yeah, I mean, Eddie, what you got for a baseline, good brother?
All right, so this is one that one of y'all just mentioned it kind of in the flow of the conversation, but it was on my list. That's Black Moon. How many MCs must get this? Like that's another funky one, man.
Fire.
And I feel like that's a deep one, and it's kind of like it's one of them bass lines that's like it carries a song. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of bass lines where it's kind of like it's in the mix. It's blended. It's like it's dope, but this joint carries the song.
Carries the song.
Yeah.
Man. Another perfect song, man, and that and Ready to Die are the two albums I know offhand where you hear the MC grow. You know what I mean? Because when you hear How Many MCs, you know what I mean, Buckshot sounds entirely different than when you hear how many MCs. You know what I mean? You could tell how who got the props was one of the first songs recorded.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and how many MCs was probably the last song recorded. Because then you could see from I Got You Open remix, you see that's where Buck kind of got that to get the back, come follow me, like he got that
melody,
song,
that melody in the cadence, man. It was water. It was like, ooh,
Buck was bad.
Yeah, voice got a little deeper and all that. Yeah.
And then not to mention that video was crazy. And you in the projects, and I remember Evil D being up against the walls on the turntables. It was just a dope song in the video.
For like a year, he was at the top of the game, man. Like people forget he had a moment where he was especially on the East Coast.
We gonna do that show. We gonna do that show because I'm always talking about. People be saying something about Pooba. I'm like, yo, my nigga. There was a time and point where Grand Pooba was the dopest MC on the planet Earth. Again, and it just may have been a moment. It just may have been
and a fashion icon. How about that?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But we gonna do that show on just who. Like I said, the same thing about Tretch. There was a time when Tretch was a top 3 MC walking the planet Earth, bar none.
I would argue he was number 1. 91, he was probably the best MC in the world.
So we gonna do that show where we picking out like cats who. Because I feel like that's the thing, and we did a show about like giving out wrestling belts. Because I feel like all you ever hear about is the GOAT. Who's the GOAT? And if you're not the GOAT, if you're not privy to be in that conversation of these 10 MCs, then nobody just ever mentions your name. Like you just don't exist. And that's why I used to like wrestling. You had the Intercontinental belt, you had the TV title, you had this title, you had different things. So we gonna have to do that joint. One of the joints I got, man, and it's
wait. Hold on a sec. I know I was gonna do my R&B joint first.
Oh my bad. I'm sorry. What you got for R&B?
Yeah. So my R&B joint. Well, depending, like this artist that people call him hip hop or R&B, but Anderson Paak, Come Down. That's a funky high tech. High tech put his foot in that one, man. Yeah. Funky bassline, man. Love that joint.
That's a producer I miss right there. High Tech, man. He had a lot of bangers, man.
High Tech.
The next joint I got up, another Dre joint, just like I Am God. I got Explosive off of 2001, where Corrupt just comes in and literally just annihilates that whole damn track. Just Corrupt's verse on that may be one of my favorite verses in hip hop, man, because he just came in. First of all, that's a Bumpy Lambert sample. But that joint, I just love Explosive. For people who may not know it ended up Erykah Badu jacked it for Bag Lady. So it's that beat right there. But I mean, just right here, we done named 3 Dre joints right there. So if you ain't done your homework on Dre, please go do your homework. Mike Elizondo was his bass player. I want to give out props to the bass players that's with some of these things too. What are you gonna say, Rob?
Yo, you talking about Corrupt on that joint. Corrupt was in his Corrupt said you more of a bitch than a bitch. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, since we showing Corrupt some love, I gotta take this one on the chin. I thought Corrupt might have lost a little step or two, but he proved me wrong pleasantly on that Horseman shit. That motherfucker,
he was spitting on that.
Corrupt was going crazy on that shit. He has not lost it at all. Corrupt, you ever see this? My bad, OG. You ain't lost a step, bro. You got it, bro.
Tell me this, because I got 2 very dope MCs up here. How do you keep your skills sharp? And the reason why I say that is because in the 90s, when we had this elite lyricism and everything like that, I remember doing 889 and interviewing different rappers, and it's like, you talking Mos Def. I'm on tour with Talib and Black Thought and Common. We're freestyling every night. Where I'm around hip hop 24/7. I'm in ciphers. After the show, people want to rap, and I'm constantly rapping, and I'm constantly like. Now that ciphers are gone, and now that cats are older and married with kids and stuff like, how do y'all keep your sword sharp like that?
Trey, let me take this one first because I really want to hear what you got to say, bro.
Absolutely.
I just want to say, being the young head, like, it's funny because when I create, I'm in a room in between 4 walls. Like, I don't write in the studio. I pay for my studio time, so time is money. I try to get enough done beforehand, prior to, so when I get there, I could get as much done as possible. I'm not around a bunch of rapping homies. All I have is the shit that I grew up on and my thoughts. Personally, I don't know if this is the last of that youthful vigor I got. I don't feel like I could ever fall off because I love it so much. I love putting words together, so I don't feel like I could ever fall off. Might be wrong, but the only thing I can say is, like I said, I'm a student of this shit, and I'm just trying to carry on tradition. So I've had hip hop is how old now?
47, technically
years old, right? I've had more than enough examples of dope, raw ass, immaculate, legendary, skillful MCs to help me and guide me through my journey. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, again, I don't think I could ever fall off because it's not like I'm using my physicality. Like one day I'm not going to be able to run as fast. One day I'm not going to be able to jump as high. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, as long as this stays sharp, you know what I'm saying? And as long as you got something to say, I don't feel like you can really fall. I feel like if you fall off as an MC, that's your choice too. It was your choice. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you have to fall off because you're getting older, you out of time. I don't feel like that's the case at all. And a lot of people say that shit. Oh, he ain't got it no more. No, I feel like sometimes artists get so out of touch and really don't have anything to talk about, and they find themselves trying to force something. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, thankfully, I've grown into the type of artist that I soak up what's around me and I take in what I'm living and what I see. So I will always have something to say as long as I'm breathing. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I just love it so much. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no recipe to it. I don't do no seance to get in my mode to start writing no shit like that. It just comes. And sometimes I could go crazy the day before, but the next day after that, I can't come with nothing that I'm comfortable with to save my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. But I just wanted to go first because I really want to hear with your experience what Tracy Lee got to say.
Oh no, man, you pretty much covered it. And the only thing that I guess there's the difference between you and I. You're what? You're 36?
35.
Okay, so I got you about 15 years. So I'm 50. So basically, I'm right where you were at 35 years old. It's just that I got 15 year jump start. So I've had the advantage of being able to go into my mental Rolodex and remember all the way back. You know what I'm saying? Up until now. And then I just listen to people that I like. I listen to people that I like and I get inspired. And once I listen to people and I stay inspired. And once I listen to that, then the next thing that I do is I look at the landscape and I see where everybody is going, trying to listen to everything that I like, and I go somewhere else. I pick my spot. Okay, you're not sitting here, or you sitting over there, you sitting right there. All right, cool. I see an empty chair here. I'm gonna plop down right here for the time being because I feel like I can do whatever. But at that given moment, I'm gonna pick my spot, be inspired by the people that I've heard that are current. Go back into my mental Rolodex of what I know and been, and listen to over the last 30, 40 some odd years, and then get to working because we all have gifts. You know what I'm saying? You as an MC, you have a gift, and as long as you continue to use that muscle, that mental memory, and that muscle, and that love of words, and the passion for what you have for the music and the culture, then it'll always be there. It's just picking your spot on which to use it and finding the best way to separate yourself from everybody else. And that's really the formula for me at this point in my career and in my life. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. And it's funny because, I love what both of you guys are saying, and God, what you were saying just about the inspiration, because a lot of artists, are now rapping for the goal of so many new MCs is to get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not coming from a place. Everything you kept saying was, I love it. I love it. I love it. Where so many newer artists are like, I just do this. I don't feel like a lot of people in the NBA love ball. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of them was like, my man told me, kill a 6'2", 8th grader come in your teen center, what you gonna think? He hoop. You know what I mean? This kid may want to sing on a gospel choir, but what the neighborhood gonna say? You gotta hoop. You get your family out. You get, and I think that's why we get the product we get from the NBA, which isn't the product we had in the 80s and the 90s, because them dudes love to hoop. You was gonna get money, but you wasn't gonna be no billionaire like LeBron. Is the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. in one contract has made more money than Tim Hardaway Sr. made his whole career is a testament of how money has changed. You know what I'm saying? So you have these cats who don't even love playing ball, but they're like, yo, I could get 72, I could get 3 years for 72, 90 million. You know what I mean? So the love isn't there. So I think, like you said, it's the love. It's also something Rakim told me once about writer's block, told me, I read in the interview, was you just go out and live. It was like, what do you do when you get writer's block? He said, I just go out and live. And it's so funny because me and my scripts, I'll be like, man, I'm kind of stuck. And you know what I do? I find a hood ass Popeyes. I go get lunch. I sit there and I air hustle for about an hour and a half. Nigga, I'm leaving with new characters, new phrases, new, you know, you got to get out your environment and go live. You know what I mean? So, God, what you were saying just about like, yo, I take in what's around me. You know, like I forgot what MC State said, yo, ride the A train from beginning to end all day in New York City for a day. You got enough shit for an hour right there, easy, in one day if you need the inspiration.
And unless you got a specific assignment that you've taken on that has a theme, so to speak, the easiest way to write for me, and you said it, God, too, is live your truth, man. Right? There's only one you in this galaxy. There's only one you. You are the only one that can write about you and what you do and how you do it and the way you do it. There may be things that are similar to what other people and that can relate, and once they hear you say it, they be like, damn, I went through something similar. But they didn't go through the exact same thing that you did. And that's what I try to channel. I'm going to put out me, and nobody else can do that. And so that's what helps my pen float, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody else can say the shit that I say because you're not me, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope. That's dope. Good looking. The reason I asked was because when you were saying you thought Corrupt had slipped, but then you heard this new album, it just had me thinking like, damn, I wonder how, you know, Corrupt stayed so sharp through all these years and everything. Because I'm talking about explosive. This is 2000. You know what I mean? And we in 2021. You know what I mean? So dope take on that. God, what's another bass line you got for us, good brother?
Let me see. So I gave y'all Snoop and Dre deep cover, Dre Let Me Ride. I am going to go Eric B and Rakim Know the Ledge. Another joint that I absolutely love. You know what I'm saying? And that like, bro, I love it, man. Like I love it.
I got enough to go around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I did like a little freestyle to the joint like on an old ass project years ago. Like I love that joint so much, and it's like I love the movie Juice too. So as a shorty, before Juice was what, 92?
Yeah, like 91,
92. So I'm a shorty then, but I didn't really understand what's going on in the movie to a certain degree, but I just know when I heard that bass line, it did something to me, even being that young. Like I said, I'm 35, so that's 86. In 91, as a child, that bass line did something to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, this is, I rock with this. My little body was whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was doing something to it. I just knew that I rocked with it. So that's another one of them joints where it's like, it's a feel. I can't really explain it. It's just a feel. And you know what I'm saying? Like, not recently, but I found out not too long ago that Rakim was producing a lot of that shit, and Eric B was just like, you know what I'm saying, in the picture.
Well, that one right there was the Bomb Squad. That one
okay,
right
that's what I was about to ask. Was that Rakim or
that was the Bomb Squad? The Bomb Squad did that. Yeah. Because
like that joint right there, like, hey man, immaculate, bro. I can't.
That album, the Bomb Squad saved Kane too, because Enough Respect was on that. And around that time, Kane was kind of dead in the water around that time. Enough Respect was, and the Bomb Squad came back with that one with that too. But yeah, incredible. And again, everybody watching, please write these down. If you don't know them, go listen to them. You see the looks on our face when somebody names something. You know, it brings back memories. We know what that is. So please, you know, again, I've always wanted this to be someplace where everybody can learn. I learn every fucking week from everybody up here. So that's the fun part of me doing this all the time. Trey, what's another joint you got, good brother?
I'm going to go hip hop. I mean, the sample is by a cat by the name of Leon Haywood.
Oh, you already got Dre. Yep. Another Dre joint.
Hey.
Another Dre joint.
Come on, man. G thing, man. You know what that's about. You already know what that's about, man.
Facts.
Man, that joint dropped in the summer of what? 92?
91? Wasn't it 91? 92?
It's 91, 92. I want to say 92. Probably right
Because
before
I think Deep
so
Cover was
92.
91. And and that came out that was the follow up from that joint.
Because Doggy Style followed up Chronic, right? And Doggy Style was 93 with Wu in there, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so yeah, 92.
Yeah. The Chronic dropped December 15th, 92.
Yes. And G Thing was the precursor to the album drop.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That joint, even the video with them in the low bottoms,
what made it dope. Showing up to Snoop crib, and you see Dre walking through Snoop crib, and he just in the bruh. It was. I missed that. I missed that. Which is another reason, guys, just to shout you out. I love the video where you in the crazy house and the straight jacket and all that. Like,
oh yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
That's the art too, bro. That's the art. I feel like
that's the art that I miss. You know what I mean? Because now the majority of hip hop videos, and I'm guilty of. Well, I've done it, but I'm always trying to find a theme to it that you just find some shit to shoot in the hood. You know what I mean? I love Trey, what you and OGiz are doing with the video. Like, because like you said, that was a whole nother art too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And again, just to salute both of you guys because you're doing it by yourself. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that.
I appreciate you,
artists
bro.
back in the 90s, all the rapper producer job was to just make the music. Then
all the rapper job was to do was to rap and show up.
And then you sent it to the promo department. The promo department came up with stickers and came up with advertisements and Month for the Man with Redman and Method Man, like, and this is how we ship it out. Then you got the video director who came in with a treatment, and so again, I just really commend independent artists like you guys because you guys are doing it all in-house by yourself. And I don't know if enough people realize how hard that is. Like, it's super hard to, everybody want to say I got my own label, but I'm like, number one, and this is for rappers out there to learn from, because it's one of the reasons why I love both of these guys right here is because the way they go about promoting their music is organic. I always tell people, nigga, if we having a conversation about Royce and you just pop in like, yo, Kill, check out my new album, nigga, we in the middle of a conversation. That's not how this isn't how you introduce yourself to somebody. We talking about this, and you talk about, Kill, check out my new album. Like, I think you hit me up in the DMs and it was like, yo, check this out. I listened to it, I hit them right back like, yo, this shit crazy, bro. I'm gonna get with my squad and we gonna have to promote this or whatever. So it's an organic way, and I always tell people, because people have said, like, you really want me to write individual emails? And I said, bro, if you want the help, yeah, you do. Like, you can't just tag 100 people and say, listen to my shit. Because I know if you tag me with 100 strangers, I'm muting your ass from that point on. So now you've already defeated the purpose of trying to get out there. And that's what it was. For me doing radio, those promo people would have to call every radio station and talk to every DJ. That's what you did.
Hey, I do that. I do that now. I go to each individual DJ that I know, especially with this new joint, the butter sauce joint. I went to each individual, hit them up, say, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Hope you and your family are well, blah, blah, blah. If you're interested, I got a new record. And they would say, oh, come on, Trey, knock it off. You know what I'm saying? But I don't assume and just start tagging you and stuff, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no, man, we haven't talked in a while. We know each other, but I want you to know from a personal perspective, and this is what, like, for all the kids out there that's trying to get in this game and trying to build relationships, this is how you build and sustain relationships. And that's how you get stuff done. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, each individual, shake hands, kiss babies, all that good stuff. And I'm sure God knows that too.
And just to add one more thing onto that, for all, you know what I'm saying, the supporters out there, love y'all. I want to talk to the people real quick, just for one quick second. I saw some on Facebook the other day that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I started to respond politely, but I didn't. If you feel like an artist, an independent artist is putting out something and you feel like the price is outrageous, don't be so quick to talk down on the shit and get disrespectful. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Ain't nobody finna pay this much. Fam, do you hear everything that we talking about here? I have a wonderful team behind me as far as Filthy Records, but we don't have like no $1 million budget. Shout out to Filthy Records. Decay, Shondo, Custom, all the guys, you know what I'm saying? Slime, Def C, Solar 5, Tone Live, but the majority of that label is artists. We don't have a this department or that department. So I'm still very much so doing a lot of things on my own with some shared responsibility here and there. So when you see a motherfucker come with a price tag that you feel like is too much, just understand the hours and the level of creativity and thought and dedication we put into our craft, this art. like how we were just talking about the videos. I don't have a Little X. I don't have a Hype Williams, fam. No disrespect to my guy Trilogy, Trillavision, my man Ogun Please, Cabron Cartel, immaculate, you know what I'm saying, videographers. But a lot of this shit is coming from my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like the price is too much, cool, I understand that, but don't shit on it, because we put a lot into this, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of this shit is coming from our blood, sweat, and tears, whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because I see stuff sometimes and it's like, y'all don't really understand. But I feel like if you're an entrepreneur and you got your own business, then you know what it is, because everything falls on you at the end of the day.
Facts.
I think the other thing with that, bro, is that it's trying to change your mindset, because music has gone through so many phases. So there was a time when I remember paying $18.99 for a CD, when Trey, you know, used to come in the cardboard boxes like this. So the price point for a CD was $20. You know what I mean? And we had gotten the habit of that the CD is $20. You know, then eventually you start getting, maybe you fast forward 10, 15 years, now you get your circular Best Buy, brand new CDs, $9.99. That was the hype to buy it that first week. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like $9.99. I gotta go get the first week, because if I don't get the first week, it's gonna be back up to $15.99. Now what happened with that is that's when a lot of the small mom and pop record business started going out of sale, because they're not Best Buy. They can't drop their price point to $9.99 the way Best Buy can. So now I'm no longer shopping at such and such records, because that's $18.99. I'm shopping over here for $9.99. And I think it's, again, and I'm challenging the youth, because I look at it differently now that I'm older than I did when I was younger. And Porsche does a great job of this. Porsche loves supporting Black-owned bookstores. Porsche is always not just going to run to Amazon. She's very concerned with where her money goes to. And I always applaud her for that, because it's a mindset that more of us need to get into if we have it. Like, again, there were times when I didn't have the $18.99, so I had to do the $9.99. But if you're at a point where you do have it, you got to look at the bigger picture, because that's why we don't have any mom and pop record stores no more. That's why we don't have a lot of Black-owned businesses, because they weren't able to lower their price point like that to that point. And two, to what God was saying was just the fact that this is what support is about. You know what I mean? The support is about, I fuck with you, so I'm going to invest in you. And that's what I think we sometimes have to teach people, is that this isn't just about supporting me, this is about investing in me. Like, if you fuck with me, fuck with me then. You know what I mean? Like, if you fuck with me, fuck with this year, the vinyl's 30, but I've seen you turn around and give Rock Marcy $100 for a download. I've seen Rock Marcy charge $50 for a download.
And I'm no Rock Marcy. I'm not trying to put myself on that level. Definitely not.
No. But what I'm just saying is that, again, this is what I mean by, if you fuck with somebody, you know why people don't have a problem with it? Because they fuck with Rock. So it's like, I fuck with Rock. So if he want 50 for a download, then that's what I give him. He want 100 for the vinyl, that's what I'll give him. But that's what I'm just saying. If you fuck with somebody, then fuck with somebody. That's all I'm saying. That's the point of it. And if you don't got it, I totally understand. But like you said, there's no reason to shit on the artist. Like, ain't nobody gonna play, man, you bugging, you Hollywood. I again, and I'm only speaking for God. I'm not speaking for no other MC. Maybe they are trying to get over. Maybe they only paid $5 for their CDs and they want to charge $100 for it. It is what it is. It's just, do you fuck with them or not? Nipsey was charging what, $100 for a mixtape? First mixtape? You know what I mean? Sounds crazy to me, but people brought the shit. So I'm not buying $100 for no mixtape. I don't care who you are. I mean, unless you my peoples. But so that's all I'm saying. The total challenge is, if you fuck with somebody, fuck with them and keep it moving. So definitely appreciate that.
Man, you already know, man. Support.
And you already know it's love.
I got that signature, man, right there.
Always.
Yeah, man. I got to, man. And when Trey drops his vinyl, man, I'm gonna cop that too.
Yeah,
you already know.
And before we get to the next person, my R&B bass line, because I used it, is "Lady" by D'Angelo. Yeah, I just had to slide that in there. You know what I'm saying? Just had to slide that in there.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna remember, we got Eddie, me, and Rel for the next round. I'm gonna we'll start fresh for the next one. Eddie, what you got? What you got for the next one? I'm gonna just save it for the whole go around. But what you got, Eddie, for yours?
Let's see. I'm going with The Choice Is Yours Revisited, man. Black Sheep. Classic right there, man.
Yeah.
Just sets the mood, sets it off lovely, man. I love that joint. Man, I've spoken about that song. I've spoken about what it means to me, like being a shorty and like being young and having that being played in the house party. Like when my uncle, he had that vinyl, so that was our break. Like me and my cousins, like that was our break to kind of have fun and turn it up. When I'm Puerto Rican, so most of my family like they playing salsa music and all that, right? So which is cool, but we into some other stuff. So that was the joint that we really have fun to. So definitely. And another R&B joint, I gotta go with "Groove Is in the Heart" by the D-Lights.
Okay, by the lights. Okay,
featuring Q-Tip for those that didn't know.
That's a dope pick.
Yes, sir.
That's a dope pick. It's fun. Ralph, go ahead. What you got for your next up?
I got Chief Rocker. Goes in the Underground.
Damn.
93. I'm
Nice.
probably like 11. My cousin got me the single. That was my favorite song at that time, man.
Chief Rocker was hard as hell, man.
That beat, man. That was a time. Bring back memories, man. Riding in my older cousin Pathfinder. You know what I'm saying? Chief Rocker was my drum, man. That beat is crazy, legendary. And Devil's Pie, my R&B drum. That's another one. I don't even really gotta explain. I ain't really gotta explain that drum. That was just hard, man. For that to be D'Angelo over that, it was just kind of crazy, man. Like,
Yo, you know the backstory with that too, right?
No, I might have heard it.
He made that beat for Cannabis, and Cannabis ain't won it. And then
Wait, whoa. Who made what for Cannabis?
Primo made Devil's Pie.
I'm about to say Primo
and Cannabis didn't want it.
Cannabis didn't want it, and he played it for D'Angelo, and D'Angelo did what he did.
Interesting.
What?
Google it. Just Google Cannabis, Devil's Pie, or DJ Premier. Google it. It's
Cannabis is my guy, man. But come on, I gotta have a talk with him.
Come on, Biss.
He ain't won it. He ain't won it.
Come on, man. Come on,
and
man.
It's so funny because I always tell listeners it's about what you expect to, because I never forget, I'm at 889, they send a 12-inch for Devil's Pie, I'm hyped. I'm the biggest D'Angelo fan in the world.
I don't know about that. I think you know what I mean? I don't know, man.
You still stuck on Cannabis, man.
Nah, yeah.
But the funny thing was, at first I didn't
it ain't the only bad decision Cannabis made, though.
Definitely not. At first I didn't even like Devil's Pie because my ear was ready for a Brown Sugar D'Angelo. I was ready to put on the vinyl and hear some smooth laid back, but of course I love it, but it was just that initial reaction because of expectation. Not to mention what Primo did to that bass line. I want to say, I can't remember if he sampled Teddy Pendergrass. He chopped that up and replayed the entire bass line. So it's, and when you hear the original, you can kind of hear the tone of the bass and then see, what Primo did to it, which is one of the things I wanted to talk about just for people watching, like the differences in bass lines and hip hop. Like a lot of 90s bass lines were filtered bass lines. So what happened was you had machines like the S950, the ASR10, the MPC60, where you could filter a bass line. So what that basically means is if you take Dead Presidents is a great example. So if anybody really wants to learn about this, go to YouTube, go to Dead Presidents instrumental, and you can hear how that Lonnie Liston Smith sample, it'll fade out and go into the bass line. So what you would do as a producer is you would take the Lonnie Liston Smith sample and you filter all the highs out of it. So all you have is the bass of it. And then you'd have another sample that's on top of the bass that is the actual sample, which would happen like, you would drop the sample when the rapper's MC is rapping, so that he's over the muffled bass line. Then you have your bass tones, which is more of a Dilla thing, that Dilla bounce. Dilla was using more bass tones where you're taking the pads or your keys and you're like playing the bass tones out itself. and then going to like what Rel just brought up with Devil's Pie, when you just take a note and you just totally take it somewhere else, like that. So like those are just some of the different type of bass lines that have happened in hip hop. I'm gonna go with my next one. I'm gonna go with the Players Ball remix by Outkast. Now it's the remix particularly. It's and just the same way I gave props to Mike Elizondo, who was Dre's bass player. Preston Crump is the bass player behind so much of that Dungeon Family stuff, ATL legend down there. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, just YouTube Players Ball, the remix. And that bass line on that just sounds so warm. I mean, I don't even really listen to the original just because I love that bass line so much. I honestly, truly believe that Organized Noise were probably my personal favorite, and I believe who were the best at mixing live instruments with samples and making it all come together. Like when I listen to the Roots with you, I hear the live drums. I hear it's a band, but when I hear Outkast, I can't pull apart. Like I'm listening to Spodioti, it could be a sample, could be live. Like that's the whole thing. Like it's that is it live or is it Memorex? Like you don't know with Outkast. It could be a sample, it could be a live band playing. So I think, and they were the ones, in my opinion, who started the road for the Justice Leagues, who did a lot of Rick Ross's stuff, and the Jake Ones, who do so much live instrumentation, but they also sample to keep it together like that. Guy, what are your last two picks for hip hop and R&B?
I'm gonna give y'all two for hip hop because I forgot about my one for the last go round. Let me see. I'm gonna go with either one of these. I feel like somebody else gotta have this one. I got two left, but I'm gonna give y'all Sugar Hill Gang Rappers Delight. Everybody know what that is.
You gotta do that.
Everybody know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
You got
so, and you know what I'm saying? What is that? Good Times?
Yes.
Yeah, good times.
Good Times. So it's like, yeah. So it's like
you gotta do that.
This is shit that I didn't. This is shit that I grew up with as a shorty. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I heard Good Times before I heard, you know what I'm saying, Rappers Delight. And later on, getting a little older, you know what I'm saying, still a shorty, I heard Rappers Delight, and I'm like, oh shit, that's the joint my mama used to play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that shit is just a groove. Again, like this bass shit, like the live instrumentation shit, that's vibe music right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a feel. You know what I'm saying? So Rappers Delight for the for the hip hop joint. For my R&B joints, I'm gonna go OJ's for the Love of Money. For the one that I missed, that's my shit. I love that joint. OJ's for the Love of Money.
Yo,
and
whenever Trey, I don't hold on for a second, guy. I don't know, Trey. Do you remember? God, what was that movie? About Richard Pryor's life. Something. Your life is calling.
Yeah, keep talking. This is gonna come to me.
I forgot the name of it, but that OJ joint plays when like one of his wives, like he met, is like walking towards him. I swear, anytime I hear that song, I think of that scene from that movie. I'm gonna just Google it because Trey, we're elders, so
the way I got onto that joint, the first time I like heard a rendition of it was the I don't want to say a remix, but the
JoJo Dancing. Your life is calling.
JoJo Dancing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I first got wind of it from the remake that his son, that Gerald Levert did with his group for the soundtrack New Jack City.
New Jack City.
You know what I'm saying? You know, they had their rendition of it, and then I don't know how I came across the original joint, but I'm like, oh shit! Like I like the remake because it's on some my type of time. It's updated, and you know what I'm saying, it's new. But I'm like, the thing that I love about the older music is the live instrumentation. You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't find that too much. You know, I mean, it's there, but I feel like it was different. Like the musicians was musicians. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers who played the strings, they played them strings. Motherfuckers who played them keys played them keys. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers who played the drums played them drums. You know what I'm saying? It was different. And just like I can't name none of these dudes, and I know they legendary, but it's just like some of these songs. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like a verse in itself, like a drum solo back in the 80s. That was a verse by itself. Like you stuck around for that. Like you're not going to the next joint. Like you vibe to that, maybe a little more than you vibe to the words of the song. You know what I'm saying? So That's one of them joints for me, and for the other joint to make up for the two R&B joints, I'm gonna go Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. That's my shit right there.
Yeah.
Can't never go wrong with Mike. That Quincy at
Gotta
his
throw
best.
a Mike Jack in there. Yeah.
Quincy at his best. Trey, what you got for your last two?
I'm R&Bing it out, man. I'm
right.
R&Bing it out. I'm going Teddy Pendergrass, Love TKO.
Oh my God. There's another TKO.
Damn it.
Teddy P.
Come on, man.
Bruh.
Come on, man.
Yo,
Look,
those are the sessions that I wish I could. I wish people had iPhones
Footage
back then.
of.
You know, and just footage of to just see like Marvin's "I Want You" come together. I mean, from scratch. Like I want to see like who played the first note, and then who jumped in next, and then who grabbed the pen. Like I would just love to see. I love what we do as hip hop artists, and I love what I do as a producer. But to just where did the first note come from? Where did the idea even spark from? Like where, like, oh God, that's like heaven to me. Like, you know, just being able to hear how classic songs got started and how many things were mistakes. Because people love to act like, oh, you know, I just went to the S950 and da-da-da. No, you was messing around with something. You like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, how much of this stuff were mistakes and everything. But yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. What else you got, Trey?
I mean, I got a laundry list, but if I'm gonna just okay, it was. I'll just keep it to one. I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I'm gonna go with. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna go with The System. You Are In My System.
Ooh, God, yo, bro, I just threw that shit on a mixtape last week. And you know what made me remember that? I was watching, if people who don't know, who's an incredible bass player, New School Cat, Thundercat. He does a lot of stuff with Kendrick Lamar and that whole crew, everything like that. I was just watching on YouTube, like his top 5 bass lines, and You Are In My System was one of them. I forgot how crazy that joint was. I threw it on the mixtape last week, bruh. If y'all haven't heard it, just go listen to it. Like, I literally forgot how crazy that bass line was.
I got a record in the tuck that I did like maybe might be 10 years now that I ain't put out yet. I'm about to
Man,
that I use that joint.
My God.
Yeah.
True. All right, yo, real quick too. I Am God. Who do you think is the dopest producer with bass lines and hip hop and R&B? If you have somebody, like, you know, we've said Dre 50 times. So
mine is Dre. I don't know enough of the producers behind these records for R&B.
Right.
I know I just love the joints, but as far as for rap and hip hop, I gotta say Dre.
I'm gonna give you one, God. I'm gonna give you one, God. Larry Smith.
Hold on, let me write it down. Larry Smith.
Oh, you got me about to go right here, man.
Larry Smith. He is the mastermind behind Houdini. Just so you know.
Okay.
That just gives you a tidbit. With regards to production, and you talk about live instrumentation, I know you said, you know, them boys down in Atlanta are immaculate. But before them, it was Larry Smith. He is the god.
I'm about to name one right now. I'm about to name one on one of my go rounds. I'm about to name Larry Smith.
So God, when you after this, do your research on Larry Smith. He is to me, with regards to hip hop, mixing live instrumentation and hip hop, he's not only the first, but he's the king of that shit.
Yeah,
the king.
I ain't mad at that.
Say less, I'm on it.
Eddie, who you got, man? What's your last two, and what producer you think got the dopest bass lines?
All right. So my last two, I'm going with Dynamite by The Roots. That's Jay Dilla. When you know, that's my favorite Roots album, one of my favorite albums, Things Fall Apart. But when I heard that song, I was like, damn, that joint sounds different. You know what I mean? Like even with the Roots being known for live instrumentation, but what Dilla did with that, man, was crazy. Of that joint. Crazy. And Black Thought tells the story how he went over there with what's his guy Elo, whatever, who was rapping on the track with him.
Yeah, well, Dice is on it with him. They all went out to Dilla's crib. Like,
No. That Dice is not on Dynamite.
oh yeah, he's not. My bad. Then yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's his other cat that he was cool with. So yeah. But yeah, they went to Dilla's crib and that was one of the joints they got. So yeah, definitely dope. And my other hip hop joint, I gotta go with Elevators by Outkast.
Ooh.
That joint is tough, man. And
Back to the Dungeon family. Back to the Dungeon family.
Back to the Dungeon family, yeah, man. And that was another one of them joints. When I heard it, I was like, yo, like I think I talked about it on the other show. Like me and my cousin heard that we're listening to that for the first time. We were like, ooh, it blew our mind. Like we ain't heard nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like that bass line, but then like all the sounds that they threw in there, and you know how they come in with the flow and all that. Like, because you know we're mostly into like East Coast hip hop stuff, man. So yeah, that definitely blew our mind. So R&B, on an R&B tip, I'm gonna pick another Michael Jackson joint, Off the Wall title track.
Yes.
Motherfuckers gotta stop sleeping on Off the Wall too. I think that motherfucker is just.
I like Off the Wall better than.
That's his best work.
No skip.
That's his best work.
Off the Wall.
Yeah, I just copped that. I just copped that one on vinyl too, recently. So
that's his best work.
I love the documentary on it. That's what made me go listen to it, because I was a Thriller baby. I seen the documentary. I don't know if it's a documentary based on Off the Wall, or I seen a documentary somebody mentioned Off the Wall. Whatever the case may be, whatever that documentary was, made me go and listen to Off the Wall.
That is his best work.
To me,
if you gonna close out an era of music, that's how you do it. If I'm not mistaken, I wasn't born back then, but I heard a lot of people say that was the end of disco, and he closed it out beautiful.
Yep. That's accurate.
Yep. All right. And who's your producer?
My producer, man, I gotta go with Q-Tip, man. Because of all them Tribe joints, like I could have went way in on the Tribe joints. I know they have Ron Carter, you know what I mean, but like you have a bass player, but you know it's how you use it, you know what I mean, like putting them beats together and how you flip it, how you use it. So I think Q-Tip did a dope job, and obviously you got the Low End Theory. It was named the Low End Theory for a reason, right? So there was going to be some crazy bass lines, and definitely was. Like that album Up and Down, and there was even some dope ones on Midnight Marauders too, obviously. But I think he takes it from me.
All right, no doubt. Bro, what you got left, bro?
I'll run my last ones off real quick. I'm gonna go White Lines.
Ooh. I started with that one.
Yes.
Iconic. You hear that,
Yes.
You know the vibe.
Yeah, you know the vibe.
You know that.
Bro, I used to steal my dad's vinyl. I used to steal my dad's White Lines vinyl and just like play it over and over. Like
for those under 35, Mob Deep, Quiet Storm.
I was just about to say you could just do White Line / Quiet Storm.
That's just crazy. Other John is Know the Ledge, Rakim John. Again, crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about that, I was thinking about this when I was driving to work this morning. Remember, how we were talking about on another episode, like people not giving you 3 verses, right? On a song they give you like 2. Rakim gave you 4. Yeah, he gave you 4 on that joint. You know what I'm saying?
That was the era. That was the era.
We ain't deserve that. Thanks, Rakim. Gave us 4. And my last joint, New York State of Mind. New York State of that bass line. That joint is great. That great.
Yes.
Yeah. And my producer is, I agree with Eddie, is Q-Tip, man. Like, I can't figure. I remember watching Nas talk about Illmatic, and actually Q-Tip was talking about what Nas said to him, like, just give me that stuff that you do. Like, that's what he said. Like,
that shit you do.
Yeah, that shit you be doing. I mean, and that's how I feel. Like, what is it? That shit he be doing. Like, I can't really explain it. This is like his drums are different. You know what I'm saying? They like filter different. He just in his own bag, man. And like I said, I think, you know, Midnight Marauders is one of my favorite albums. Like that whole joint baseline is crazy in my head, man. You know what I mean? So like sucking niggas baseline, crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, y'all been making me do this the whole episode. Ooh.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna go Q-Tip. That's fine.
No doubt.
Kill, you about to say the joint. I think you about to. When I said Larry Smith, I think you're gonna go where.
We can go with it right now. 5 minutes of funk.
There you go. I mean,
that was it. I mean, that bass line was probably one of the first bass lines. It's 84. I'm 10 years old. 5 minutes of funk. Oh my God, just that. So that was there. And then the last one I got, now I'm going to my person, was Just to Get a Rep by Gangstar.
Yes.
Used to love that bass line. Used to, well, you understand, I used to mess with a shorty in Nicetown. I used to have to catch the 6 to Broad Street line, get off at Wyoming, either wait for a bus or walk 8 blocks through Nicetown. Just to Get a Rep is my favorite Gangstar song because that was playing constantly in my head, trying not to get robbed every single weekend of my life.
She must have been a bad job.
You already know. You already know what that was. And then I didn't realize I haven't done any R&B after Never Too Much. I got Forget Me Nots, Patrice Rushen.
Oh yeah.
People who don't know me, just go to Men in Black. I got Tom Brown for Jamaica.
I had that on my list.
That joint. Basically, I just said anything Raphael Sadiq has produced. You know what I mean? I could go into probably tripping off of the Lucy Pearl album. That made me want to be a bass player, and I just never had to. I have to change my mentality because I'm old. I can't learn new things. I just need to change it. That's just the mindset.
Please, man, stop.
Get out of. You know what I mean? And learn how to play bass.
Yeah,
and then the last R&B joint, She's Strange by Cameo. That joint. Crazy. So She's Strange by Cameo. You can go Cameo across the board. You can do Candy. You can go across the board with
back and forth. Back and forth was crazy.
That was crazy. R&B wise, bass players. I want to say Nile Rodgers, who was in She, so who did all that stuff for them. I'm gonna still go with Raphael Sadiq because I mean, this dude has just been putting out bass lines since I was 14. In the 9th grade with It Never Rains with Tony, and it's now 2021. And I mean, the bass lines on this joint right here, I know a lot of people don't love it, but the Jimmy Lee album, the bass lines on Sinner's Prayer and So Ready, I mean, Rikers Island, he's still, whether he's doing Solange, I mean, no matter what he's putting his foot in, the bass is right there. He's on top of that. And I mean, I wore the shirt for a reason. To me, J Dilla is the best to ever do it with the bass lines. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Tip. I mean, but those were sample bass lines. You know, Dilla was with the bass tones and he's freaking them shits himself and playing them shits out himself. And that, you know, just the producer in me, you know, just takes that, looks at that as a little bit more intricate than finding a good bass line to sample. To then Dilla, the shit. And I'll give you an example. If anybody don't get it, The Rhyme by Keith Murray. I got a couple. Thelonious, that Dilla did for Calm. Go home and do your homework with that bass line. Get This Money, Slum Village. Again, bass tones. The She Said Farside remix, Doing It by Common. Go listen to Common's Doing It. The story is that Quest was at Dilla's crib and he picked up Rick James, Give It To Me Baby, and said, do something with this. And Dilla took the bass line from Give It To Me Baby, chopped it up, and replayed it to go do Doing It. So if you've never heard it, go to YouTube, listen to Common's Doing It, then go listen to Rick James, Give It To Me Baby. Trust me, unless Quest told this story, nobody would ever know that that's where he got it from. So just the producer in me, I got to give you extra credit. You know what I mean? When it's close like this, what is that called? A photo finish? To me, it's a photo finish, but that's what puts Dilla over for me, is that he's able to do stuff. If I play You Suck a Nigga, you're going to be like, oh, that's Suck a Nigga. If I play You Electric Relaxation, you're going to be like, oh, that's... If I play You Give It To Me Baby and then play You Doing It, there is nothing in your mind that's going to link up and say, oh, yeah, that's where he got that from. So that for me is that. So everybody do your homework on the bass lines real quick before we go. This Royce Mickey Fax, Lupe Fiasco,
let's talk.
RJ Payne, Ransom. So
let's get into it.
we're doing Twitter Spaces on Monday. My man Watson is talking. I'm like, yo, I really don't care about none of these niggas, to be honest with you. You know, I know nobody. I keep in mind when I say this, people, it doesn't mean I don't like somebody. I wasn't a big fan of Pun. I liked Pun, but when I call myself a fan, that means like I want to go to your show, I want to buy your merch. I'm not. So if just because I say I'm not a fan doesn't mean I don't like you. And I think nowadays when people hear me say I'm not a fan of, it's like that means you don't like them. I've never been a huge Lupe Fiasco fan past the first album. Love the first album. I know he's amazing, but I've never been a huge fan. I ain't know who the fuck Mickey Fax was. When niggas said Mickey Fax, Trey, I thought they was talking about the bass player from Prince's band, Mickey Free.
Mickey Free? Shout him out?
That's hilarious.
Come on. That's when niggas were like Mickey Fax, like Mickey Free, like who we talking? Like I'm literally asking Watson, who the fuck is Mickey Fax? Like I felt like Eddie Murphy popped in Raw when he's like, why the fuck you hanging around with Danny Terrio? Like why are you with Danny Terrio, nigga? Like this is what we do now. So I'm like, who is Mickey Fax? So I really didn't care, but Watson kind of broke it all down. He was like, just start with this OG call. RJ Payne said him and Ransom were the dopest MCs on the planet. Mickey Fax got them on the phone with Royce and Lupe, and just watch it. It's like an hour, 45 minutes. I watched it. I felt the whole time Royce was taking these subtle jabs at everybody. You know, My wife is watching it with me, and she's like, aren't they friends? Then why is he talking to him like that? You know, so even she could pick up on the little subtle jabs that, Royce was taking, everything like that. Long story short, Royce makes a song, I guess, dissing Lupe. Then Lupe returns like in a heartbeat, like literally like tennis, like right back at you with.
Nah, Lupe did it. No, I think Lupe did it first.
Lupe did like a freestyle.
Lupe did a freestyle. He did a freestyle. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Freestyle first.
Lupe kind of went first. Yeah.
He freestyled on his live, and
right.
He didn't really. It wasn't really like it wasn't as direct. You know what I'm saying? He just was spitting stuff, walking through the house. You know what I'm saying? Walking through his house, and then Royce came with his diss, and then Lupe came back with his, and then
and then Mickey Fax dropped something on Monday because Eddie, you said that to me.
But that came after. They were on IG. And Royce was talking to him about checking boxes. Like,
Mickey Fax had a really legitimate reason to diss him because him and Joe Budden were talking to this dude. It was like borderline disrespectful. Yeah, it was like they was being wild corny to me. They was being super corny to me. Like I'm really disappointed in the way Roy's behaving. But like you can't be on these live talking to people like that and expect like it just to go over. Like he called Lupe a bitch. Like on the over them talking about like hip hop stuff. Like you took it there, and now when people come at you, you're like, oh, you're breaking this rule, or you're not doing. Like, dog, you came at these dudes, and your attitude, like they were real condescending to Mickey Fax, man. Like,
exactly.
Got on there, and it was kind of crazy. I'm just listening. It was kind of hard for me to listen to. You know what I'm saying? And he kept his cool. Yeah. He had to diss him. He had a legitimate reason to do it. And these are people that's supposed to be like cool, but it's like Royce and Joe were acting like Mean Girls, like the movie. Like that's how they were acting. Right. It was super corny, bro. Like it was corny.
And here's the thing, bro. Like if Royce, Royce is like talking about, I just want to do MC stuff. I want to elevate y'all. Like. If he's really trying to elevate, like he says, right? If he's talking about checking boxes, no one knows what the hell he's talking about. Mickey Fax is like, all right, what do you mean checking boxes, right? So he's like, all right, maybe this is gonna help me. And Royce is being really, really vague, and then just being really cocky and assuming like, nah, you can't do it. Nah, you alright, but you ain't checking no boxes. You ain't, and even
when the boxes was and shit.
Right.
Would never say what the boxes was. Right.
If I'm Lupe Fiasco, I'm looking at Royce like, who says you're better than me? Like, how are you telling me? Because depending on who you like, you know what I'm saying? But it's not clear that Royce is better than Lupe Fiasco. In my opinion, I like Lupe more than I like Royce for 5'9". lyrically, music-wise, everything. But they're like, he was talking to people like he was up here, and everybody else is down here, like talking to grown men. Yo, it was crazy watching them live.
I think the problem with Royce is I think that's what he believes. But it's like, here's the thing: you're in the room with other competitors. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. Like, you're in the room, so that's cool. Like, I love Ransom's energy from the original call because he was like, "I'm the best."
And you're supposed to do that,
yeah,
but don't be surprised.
And that's what I'm going to say.
When somebody challenge you with that.
But I think my beef, and I'm glad we have two MCs here, is that like people are copping pleas for Royce. Like the funny thing is people come to me like, well, Kill, I'm on Royce's side. Nigga, we can stop the conversation right there because I don't know these motherfuckers. So this conversation is gonna go down the wrong part right now just because you picking sides. Nigga, when Jay and Dame broke up, I was like, ooh, I'm on Dame's side. Nigga, I ain't getting none of this money. I ain't on nobody's side. I can care less who do what. So we could just stop right there. My thing is that you have to hit back. You see what I'm saying? And like one dude was like, well, Kill, you don't understand because it's, Lupe, this is serious. And, Royce doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to offend the friendship. And I'm like, well, then say that. But why are you on live the next day, talking with more MCs? Oh, yeah, they jumped me. They did. And my mate, and then the dude was like, oh, well, Kill, you can't win for losing. If he don't say nothing, he's a bitch. If he does say something, I said, nah, it's a very winnable solution. He could say this. Look, y'all, I appreciate you fans, but this is something going on between me and my brother, and I love my brother and our brotherhood more than this rap shit, so I'm not going to respond to that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to respond to that because this is more, our friendship is more important. That's the win. There is the win right there. That's how, here's the word, that's how a mature person would handle the situation with his brother. And I gave the example with Ed. If me and Ed had a problem on Apartment 5B, I'm not going to go on the timeline and be talking to everybody about Ed. I'm not going to get on an IG live with Rel and Rec and Porsche and everybody else saying X, Y, and Z. And that's it. Right. And it just showed me that this is Royce's personality. He's the me personality. Here's the thing. Most people do like zodiac signs. I don't know none of that shit. I just know personalities. So there's the me personality, and I've never liked that personality. A couple of weeks ago, we was on the timeline talking about Dame Dash being a legend. I'm like, I don't know about that. I've never liked Dame because he's the me. Look at me, everybody. Look at me. Watch me curse everybody in this room out at Def Jam. Like, look at me, everybody. Keep looking at me. I don't vibe with that personality. And to me, that's how Royce is coming off. And it's kind of fucked up because I've always been a Royce fan. I've always loved Royce music. What you going to say, Eddie?
Well, what I was gonna say, like, so he got Bun B, Bun B, bona fide legend. He got Bun B on the IG live, right? So Bun B's like thinking, all right, there's some kind of real beef, that needs to be squashed. Like he's like, all right, I don't want to see none of that. So what can I do? And Royce is up there eating chips, just like being his cocky self and. Just kind of being vague and cracking jokes, and like Bun B was like, yo, man, you bored. It's like, I can't get this time back. It's like, man, I'm leaving, man. I can't get this time back. You bored. It's like, don't waste my time, man. And I forgot, Royce said he was going to call Big Crit. And he was like, man, don't waste that man's time. He's working on an album, man. Don't waste that man's time. He's like, man, I'm going to call Big Crit's wife and tell him not to...
But what's the point?
I don't know.
Call him for what? What are you calling all these rappers for? There's no need to call. God, Trey, here's my question for you as an MC. My thing is, these niggas diss you. Niggas is telling me, oh, Royce is playing chess, not checkers. I don't know about that. Where I'm from, a nigga punch you in your mouth, you gotta punch him back. You can't get punched in your mouth on a Friday, then go home over the weekend, talk shit Saturday and Sunday, like I'm gonna punch that nigga fourth period after science. You don't do that. There's an instant reaction. Because you either got punched in your mouth, and then the nigga hit you back, or you just got punched in your mouth. And what happened was, I think Royce underestimated these people. The nigga got punched in his mouth, and now he's trying to find any way to kind of cop a plea to not come back. But God, tell me, a person disses you, how much time do you got to respond?
It's hard for me to say, fam. Me personally, the type of dude I am, I'm trying to grow out of reacting off emotion. So it all depends for me personally. If a motherfucker diss me and I felt like it was like okay, then I'm gonna throw some okay shit back at you because it didn't inspire me to go annihilate you. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point in time, it's just a cold war. It's just sparring. But I'm definitely not finna like take no long ass amount of time trying to like I'll with that shit. I'm not gonna try to be too meticulous. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna try to be too meticulous with a response or a diss track or whatever. But what I will say is this whole situation, I was into it at the very beginning, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to see different rappers who only hear rap talk, you know what I'm saying? So the IG lives and shit with RJ Payne and Ransom, like dudes that don't do a lot of interviews, I got to see them articulate themselves without a beat, you know what I'm saying? So that was decent. But I started feeling like diss tracks was gonna come out of these social media powwows. I got turned off super quick. Because it's like I'm from the era of like D Block, State Property, Nas, Jay, you know what I'm saying? Like if it is what it is, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You say your shit, I'm definitely finna go say my shit. It ain't about meeting up to talk about it before we do it. That shit was very, very, very corny to me. I didn't really like that. I didn't need the prelude to the bars. Just give me the bars. So much so that I didn't even listen to what Lupe did on the live, the freestyle. I didn't listen to Roy shit. Only reason I listened to Lupe response because it's like it just popped up on my timeline. I'm like, fuck it, let me listen. It was decent, but I ain't listened to nothing else after that. I heard some of Mickey shit, but it's like just the whole situation I was turned off by. My thing is, let me get back to me personally. If a motherfucker ever takes offense to me saying I'm the best, whether it's within my region or whatever the fuck the case may be, don't waste your time thinking that I want to battle you. I'm not on that type of time. I do not believe you can. I understand how motherfuckers feel like, okay, if we battle, we gonna see who the dominant MC is. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Face-to-face conversation, it's like a boxing match. But when I personally say I'm the best, and I gotta go to you, Eddie, because I like what you said, you bored. And when I say I'm the best, I'm talking about as an artist. I'm using the term rapper, but I'm talking about body of work. You want to prove you better than me? I want to hear your project. I want to see your body of work over an amount of time. I'm not standing on nobody's stage for no amount of money to battle you, have you pointing in my head and spitting on me and shit. I'm not doing it because I'm not that mature yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that mature yet to where I can handle that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not doing it. That's not, no disrespect to battle culture. I'm not shitting on it. It's a part of the culture. I respect it. But that ain't where I want to go personally with it. And that's where they got to. They started talking about battling and shit like that. Right. I want to hear the next project and to piggyback off what Eddie said. Royce is definitely fucking bored. Where's the album, bro? All y'all talking about y'all the best. I'm not riding with nobody, but if I had to choose a side, I'm fucking with Ransom and RJ because they working. Yeah. Like they ain't sitting on social media talking about who the best and what these guidelines is and what boxes you checking. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? And I respect Royce. I respect Lupe. Lupe is hometown. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Lupe was talking about some convention to where motherfuckers like freestyle blindfolded and they got a freestyle about it. Like, bro, ain't nobody talking. Personally, I don't care about the being the best. Don't mean
that is true, though. It's true.
And be face to face. It don't mean that, bro. Like, what's the discography like? I want to leave a legacy, bro. What's the discography like, bro? Like, right. How did you affect people? Yes, I feel like I'm nice with the bars, but I also want to be one of these motherfuckers who talked about 25 years from now, too. You know what I'm saying? And the freestyle battle rappers only come up here and there in that conversation. They don't come up like a Nas or a Biggie or a Jay or a Tupac or whoever, DMX come up in those conversations.
You know what it is, bro? And no disrespect to that era, because I'm about to compare it to something else that I love, but it's like And1 Ball.
Facts.
And I loved And1. I loved, so it's nice. No real disrespect. I love Headache, Ayo, Alamo, God rest the dead, the Professor, Hot Sauce, fucking the Bone Collector. I loved all them dudes, you know, but it you know, that's what it, but when people are talking about who got the best handles, probably nobody named there may come up. You know what I mean? It's gonna be the Kyries, the Sham guys, the Iversons, you know, and it's no disrespect to them, but it's just a different arena. Trey, how do you respond? Do you think there's a time, is there, you know, because it seems like And the reason I asked that is because during the original call, everybody was like, look, I got a mic right there, my mic right there, I got the mic right there, and I'm in the studio right now, and come to Detroit, and I got this, and I got that. So you saying as if you ready to go at any time. You know what I mean? You saying it like, yo, let we off to the races. Royce has a studio. Royce now makes beats, so you don't have to sit around.
He broadcasts from the studio all the fucking time. Like,
I don't know if y'all remember when Kendrick Lamar did that verse on Control. And all the New York rappers were on Twitter like, what time does the studio open? Where's my engineer? Where's this? Like, all these people talking about that they was going to respond to K-Dot. And people was like, yo, why do you have to have your engineer? Like, you should be ready to go. Like, yo, it's like, yo, I always tell my daughter, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. If you trying to try out for the Sixers, you need to be in shape 24 hours. So when they call you, yo, we ready for you? Let's go. I'm ready. Let's rock. It ain't gonna be no, oh shit, give me 5 days and I'm gonna hit the nigga. Be ready so you ain't gotta stay ready. Trey, what about you? Time frame for responding to a diss. Even if it's not about you, what do you think is somebody threw a diss record at you on Wednesday, you're in the studio, you make your own beats. I'm sure Royce got a slew of beats. And Royce could just go on the timeline right now and be like, somebody give me a beat. And this nigga would be getting 8,000 emails. You know,
yeah.
What's
he
the
probably got leftover Premiere beats.
What's the turnaround time?
Well, taking me out of it and what I would do, taking me out of it and inject yourself in that ring, then your response time should be something, I mean, it's subjective, but something close to immediate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're going to inject yourself in that, like, you know, but, you know, to piggyback off God, like, I'm at a stage in my career, don't nobody force me to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you diss me, I may not say nothing, or I may take a year, I may take 10 years and say something real slick that'll remind everybody like, damn, he brought that back up and it was kind of hard. So it's like, but that's why I don't, when people start talking like, yo, I don't play them games. See, when you start talking too much, then you do play them games. You know what I'm saying? I don't play them games. You know what I mean? So I don't talk about nobody. I respect everybody's pen. Everybody does what they do, how they do it, and they do it to the best of their ability. You know what I'm saying? I stay in my lane and I do what I do to the best. And if you say you're the best, then in my mind, I'm saying I am the best at what I do. I don't know about what you do, and I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but I don't really care, you know, to be the best at what you do. I'm the best at what I do, and so every MC should always feel like that. If you don't have that kind of vibrato, then I don't think you should be doing this, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Or at least not faking like you do this on a competitive level when you say on the mic that I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. You know what I'm saying? You should always feel like you're the best. But for each individual MC and each individual rapper, when you say you're the best, at least in my mind, at least when I say that I'm the best at what I do. Can't nobody do what I do. Nobody.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Mickey Fax, when Royce was trying to press Mickey Fax was like, he was saying exactly that. He was like, you know, I don't front like I could do what you could do, Royce, but you also can't do what I do. He's like, I feel like I'm the best at what I do. And Royce was like, nah, I could do what you could do easy, you know, basically. So he was bringing that enemy, he was bringing that energy, but then he didn't keep it when it was time to.
And here's the thing with that. I feel that. But see, my response to Royce would have been something totally different. Like I said, I respect all of them cats' pen. Everybody can rhyme. Everybody we talk about, they can rhyme. They can rhyme at a high level, all of them. But I think what happens is that you get in these circles and you get in this business and you start running across rappers and you think you know these people. I don't think they really knew each other. I don't think they know each other.
No, I don't think so.
And so when you think you know each other and you start going in different, and you start this whole thing about giving this energy, like that's the new wave now. Yeah, you're giving me this energy. Well, I'm feeling that. When you start presenting a certain energy around people that you think you know, but you don't really know, then you start to see if you know their true personality come out, and then you start to find out. But damn, I thought I knew this person, but his interpretation of what I said is something totally different than what I meant. You know what I'm saying?
Because because Royce kept referring to his dynamic with Joe Button and all the Slaughterhouse, and like, well, we do this all the time.
That
well,
ain't
not them.
Right.
That's
Mickey.
Right.
That ain't Lupe. I know y'all got the podcast, but y'all, to me, from looking at it, y'all don't really know each other like that. Because what you're saying to him, the way he interpreted it and the way Mickey's interpreting what you're saying is not the same as somebody else that you might have grown up with in Detroit. You see what I'm saying? Or anybody
you know what that Trey, that's that Philly shit. That's that Joe Familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
When you were Joe Familiar, basically for people, it's a Philly term for where like you just meet somebody and then they want to talk to you a certain kind of way. Like I had an intern, some shorty came up, she's like, "Oh, motherfucker," and I was like, well, "You don't know me to be calling me no motherfucker. Like, chill.
Yeah,
like,
we don't.
You just met me, so like, you trying to be buddy? I get it, but you don't talk to me like that. You know what I mean? And like you said, that comes across with different people. You know, me and my people, the way we talk to each other, people I grew up in Philly, are different than people who I went to like college with or I met afterwards. You know, when me and my niggas on the sticks in Philly, we be talking shit to each other. Mm-hmm. You know, my man was over a minute ago. This is a minute ago, this maybe 20 years ago, but we playing. I'm like, "Damn, motherfucker." I said something like, "Damn, you bitch." He was like, "Yo, ain't gonna be too many bitches." And I was like, "Yo, no disrespect. I get it." You know what I mean? Like, yo, this is how me and the cats I grew up with talk to each other, but that may not be same thing. You may have your ex-girl, you may call her dumb bitch, and that ain't nothing. Like, y'all talk with each other like that. You get with a new girl, you call her bitch, nigga, she's swinging. You know what I mean? Or relationship over. So I see what you're saying, Trey, because social media will have you believing you're best friends with somebody. Yep. And then it's just like, but bro, you can't talk to me like that. Like, I had to just block a nigga the other day. Nigga said something like, "Motherfucker gonna say this." I'm like, "Oh, we just gonna block that." Because I don't know what in your brain thought you could call me a motherfucker. I don't know what that was. I don't even need no explanation. I'm gonna just block you and just keep it moving. Like, because I don't have time to teach you at 47 how you want to talk. So whatever in your brain thought you could talk to Kill like that, it was wrong. We just gonna block each other and just walk away from that.
And real quick too, I want to touch on something that Trey said in the beginning. Like, me personally, bro, on some personal shit, if a motherfucker was to try to call me out on some shit, I'm a fan of the subliminal. I grew up on that. I was probably 20 something before I knew that Jay and Nas had some shit brewing between them before Takeover and Ether. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I grew up on the art of the subliminal. And I know a lot of motherfuckers will be like, "Oh, you ain't saying his name. That's a punk move." No, that eats at a motherfucker's soul. You hear a line, is he talking to me? Damn, what the fuck? Yep. I like that slick shit.
That Sonship line was, that whole Sonship thing. Yep.
I want to play with your mind and your emotions a little bit. Like, I want you to get out your element. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of the subliminal. So
and that's how you rattle them. See, that's the art of war. That's the art of war.
That's what I'm saying. A motherfucker can say my name. I might not say your name.
That's a good ass point, bro. That's a good point that you make. Because for years, again, and I always say how people were raised. Like you said, you were raised on a subliminal. I come from an era where you say a motherfucker's name, where you say Roxanne Shantae steady fuck it, like fuck MC, like that's the era. But I love what you just said because I never thought about that before. When you say the subliminal, it messes with their head.
Bro, before Kiss and 50 them really got into it, D-Block was throwing all types of shots at 50 about the snitch allegations and all that shit. If you listen to, I can't remember particular joints, but on the New York shit, Kiss said some shit about a wire. I forgot what the line was, but D-Block had been throwing styles. Everybody was throwing subliminals at 50 before they really got into it. So that's what I mean when I say the art of the subliminal. Like, if you, in my 35-year-old mind now, I go back and listen to these joints, whether it's mixtape tracks or whatever, and I'm like, bro, these niggas was really like blowing smoke before they even really got into it. Shit was brewing behind the scenes. We just didn't have a social media for motherfuckers to vent and express that shit through. So that's what I mean when I say I grew up on the art of the subliminal. Subliminals was flying like straight bullets. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was.
You make me see it different. Bro, what was you about to say?
Yeah, my problem though is you can't like do something to somebody and then how they react, tell them they wrong for the way they reacted. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you push me and I slap the shit out you can't be like, well, I only pushed you. You can't dictate how somebody responds to something that you do. You know what I'm saying? And
that goes with knowing people. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That goes with the whole dynamic of the relationship. Like, You think you know somebody like that, so you think you can say certain things and talk a certain way. But when that person react, like you said, in a way that you didn't think it was going to happen, it's like, man, you know, you got to reevaluate. Like, hey, maybe I don't know these people like I thought I did. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, I think what I like about Lupe's diss, and I think it bothered Royce, was it was like some like you were saying, it was some psychological things that he said about him that was like he took, remember the Sun Chips line, right? And where Royce said he would shoot your son while he's holding the Sun Chips, or something he said. Mm-hmm. And Lupe was like, you're talking, you try to talk this positive stuff, but you gonna shoot somebody's son while they got their Sun Chips. You know what I mean? He was attacking like his character, like you saying all this stuff. Go help clean your fucking city. Go do something. You know what I'm saying? He was getting kind of like
personal,
like in his head a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying, attacking his character and making him think and making him look like a hypocrite and look funny in the light. You know what I'm saying? And I think that bothered Royce because his diss was kind of just, I'm just gonna show that I'm nice and I'm gonna throw your name in there a couple times, but you can't dictate how somebody comes at you if you come at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't.
Oh no, I think to me that was the worst thing about Royce, because you baiting these niggas the whole time. Every time somebody on the call says, I'm the best, is like, come to Detroit. So it's like you're saying it, and RJ Payne said, so what we doing? We making a wreck? Like, what are we doing? Like, my nigga, what are you saying? Are you saying you want a battle? Are you saying you want us to get on a record? RJ kept saying, so what are we doing?
RJ said, you can't come to Philly.
RJ said, you come to Philly. You always invite niggas to Detroit. Because Royce like, well, how fast can y'all get here? And to me, that's the way that you're trying to talk down to somebody. Because now I feel like you're trying to say, like, yo, nigga, how fast can you get here? Like, you got money like that? Like, can you get... Why am I coming to you, my nigga? But I think it does come back from a place of, and again, I don't know, of maybe respect as an MC. Like, because Royce has been around since 2000. RJ and Ransom are relatively, I know Rain Man, RJ Payne is like 2010 and Ransom. But to me, Ransom's name is really, their names are buzzing right now. You know, so niggas love to say, I've been rapping since 1998. Yeah, but nobody heard of your ass till, like, your name is only buzzing right now. Like, right. Benny the Butcher done had out like 10 mixtapes. His name wasn't buzzing till 2017, 2018. So I don't know if they were trying to pay respect to Royce, but again, I just think it goes out the window. I think a great point Would you say? You got it. I'm saying the great point that you made was that, like you said, I may not respond now, I may not respond in 10 years, but the thing is that there's no response. Meaning you're not going to be on IG the next day talking with all of us. Like, that's the problem. If Royce never got on IG, none of this. That's why I told somebody, I said, the problem isn't anything. The problem is social media. If you have a problem with someone, get off of IG Live. Why don't we just start right there? If you have a problem with Lupe, and the guy was like, well, he said he tried to call him and Lupe ain't answering the phone. Well, guess what? The answer to solving that problem isn't getting on IG Live with other niggas talking shit. So that's all I'm saying.
You call me a bitch, I don't have to answer your call. Like, some people don't think that
I totally agree. I agree with you, but what I'm just saying is that this all falls back on Royce. Because here's the thing, Rel, if me and you arguing and I call you a bitch and you feel some kind of way and you're not accepting my calls and I feel bad about it, I'm not going to go on the timeline and talk shit about it. I'm going to give you time to get over that. Right. Let Rel calm down. I'll apologize to him, and then we'll see if we can get this thing back together. Right. You see what I'm saying? But you don't go on IG Live now making fun of it and doing all of that because you're just continually poking the bear. And the bad part is, like I always joke with people, do these rappers have friends? Do these rappers have somebody in their corner to say, bro, and that's bad. This is not a good look for you.
A lot of them.
And that's my thing. Like, again, these cats, they rhyme. They're very nice. High caliber MCs, great vocabulary, been doing it for a long time. But the issue for me is that I don't really think that they know each other. These people, to me, and I could be dead wrong, but my friends, my boys, ain't none of them, nobody sees none of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that type of space. like on IG talking amongst each other for the fans to get entertainment out of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's strictly rapper shit. That's strictly rappers being on IG for the fans to be entertained by the conversation, and not really people understanding the dynamic of this particular or these particular relationships. I don't think that these cats are really friends like that. They may say that, they may say I love you, and it could be love and all that, but what I'm saying is they don't know each other. So when you start talking all of this shit, this personal shit, in a rapper setting where everybody has a goddamn ego and everybody has vibrato, what the hell you think is going to come out of this shit? It's all this shit is ego based, all of it.
Yep.
Everybody's ego is at an all-time high. You see what I'm saying?
The other piece too is that, like you were saying, bro, like I remember when RJ Payne was talking about, yo, I just woke up and Royce brought my entire catalog. Like, that's the OG. So for RJ Payne, he's a fan of this.
That's right.
He woke up one day and one of his favorite rappers that he respects brought his entire catalog and invited him to come to Detroit and record with him. So
and has been there several times.
Right. And I mean, I think somebody just sent me a tweet with RJ Payne saying I'm going to Detroit in 2 weeks, doing an album with Royce, produced by Royce. But I think that that's the thing of why it was like talking down to, because it's like, yo, like, you know, like I'm just now getting to the point to be like, realize like me and Tracy Lee are friends. Like it still trips me out because he was one of my favorite MCs. So it's like, I'm just now getting to that point of like, yo, this is really my man. Like Trey hit me like, yo, I ain't talked to you in a while. You good? Like, you know what I mean? So, but Trey, me and you've been kicking it for at least 3-4 years.
See, that's
so
that's what I'm saying.
That means someone started college, someone graduated college. That's a long ass time to build a friendship versus it being like, I'm just a fan. You brought my whole catalog. You invited me out. I'm coming. We kick it. I'm not gonna try to poke the bear because nigga, you're still one of my favorite MCs. Like I don't think if these were contemporaries, I don't think if Royce was on a call with Crooked, Joel, and Joe, it would have went like this because they all look at each other like they're contemporaries. It may be like MJ probably like that. MJ probably feels like he can talk down to Kyrie or he can talk down to these new school players. Whereas Magic, Bird, and Jordan and Dr. J could probably they're all equals in that we came from the same era. So I think it's a little bit of that old head energy. The problem is it's the arrogance of look at me, I'm better than you guys, and I think Royce just underestimated.
Man, Royce and Lou wasn't even really friends like that, and they was on a podcast together. So I know they wasn't friends.
They weren't friends like that. Podcast.
They wasn't friends.
A middleman.
A mutual friend, right. They wasn't even friends. So I know the rest of them dudes wasn't friends like that.
So what Trey said was like spot on. Like, these dudes ain't friends like that, man. Like
the two most cordial dudes was probably Rand and Payne.
That's right. And you know why? You know why? Because the more and more they work together, because they've worked together on several occasions, they are building a friendship. That's how you
and that's a great point because
Mickey Facts and Lupe are friends.
Yeah, they are friends.
They are friends.
So you got two sets of friends coming together with this one old head who thinks he's Yoda. And it's like, nigga, I'm the karate sensei, and I'm gonna talk to you fucking young grasshoppers any way I want. And y'all motherfuckers better not karate kick me back. And them niggas karate kicked him back, and he didn't do shit back. So the moral to the story, y'all, is keep your personal business off of IG. If it really does come down to, because somebody was trying to explain to me, like, Kill is deeper than this. It's a brotherhood. If it's a brotherhood, then you should have respect for that brotherhood to not put it out here for people to see. It's not. I hate when people do that on IG. They get on live and talk shit about their wife. Like, bro, why are you? This is not the bar. Like, this is not where you just go vent to all these people and talk shit about your wife. You know what I mean? Don't talk shit about your man. Like, that's just not what we do. And I know in social media, we are programmed now. Something happens, yo, I'm getting on IG Live right now. Okay, everybody, this was going, bruh, just put it down. Put the phone down. Sometimes in life, everybody don't need to know everything. Right. I tell people all the time, I share the good and the bad in my life. I don't give y'all the ugly. Usually when the bad happens, that's when people take the social media break. I give you the bad. I'll tell you about the scoliosis. I'll tell you about having to bury people's kids because they done got shot. I'll share with you the bad, but I'm not gonna share with you the ugly. I'm not gonna share everything.
Right.
And you know, so that's the thing, that it's okay to pull back. You don't have to jump on IG Live every chance you get. Like, I'm now on strike because I'm just like, Royce is on IG Live every nigga. Go write a song. Go rap.
Where the album at, bro?
Yeah, where's the album? Like, do something.
And that's what I like that Mickey's doing.
This year, Peyton done dropped 5
That's what I like what they're
year.
doing. That's what Mickey about to drop an album. That's what I like to see. You know what I'm saying? They like, again, I gotta reiterate, they're all of them highly skilled MCs. So therefore, put that energy into that, in my opinion. Because all of your
album, don't give me a disc. The disc only holds so much replay value. I'm not going back to the disc. Give me an album, fam. Put that energy towards a body of work. Give me an album. That's what I mean when I say I don't want to see no battle shit.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because I'm the same way with like the beat battles. Like, people like, yo, come out to this beat battle. I'm like, dog, I ain't into all that finger drumming. Like, my thing is, let's make a song. Like, me and Just Blaze was going back and forth on Twitter. I was like, look, my nigga, get one of your MCs. I'm gonna get one of my MCs. We gonna make a song. It don't even gotta be a diss song. It don't even have to be a diss song. It's just, I'm gonna make a song, you're gonna make a song, and we're gonna present it to the people and let them pick what song they like better. Like, that's what. So I'm right there with you with that mindset. Like, I got nothing against the people who can finger drum, and you know, the new nigga in the Roots who can do all that shit and play shit live on every. Beautiful, it's cute, all that shit. That's just not my game. Like,
that's what I'm into.
With Beats playing with his chin.
Who's that? What you say, Trey? The beat.
I'm into what you and Killing God said, man.
Yeah.
I like, give me the music. I'm a fan of the music. I want to hear the composition. I want to hear it in its totality. I want to see that. That's what I want.
Like, I was a big fan of the Joe Budden Rage in the Machine album because A-Rab Music produced it, and A-Rab Music is one of those finger drummer producers. And I was like, that shit is cute. No, it's and One Ball. I'm like, that shit is cute, but can you make the lead? Can you really make an album? So I really enjoyed that album because A-Rab really produced a really dope album. You know, but yeah, people have invited me out to beat battles. I'm like, yo, I salute y'all. I can't do that shit. Like, music has to speak to me. Like, I'm not that dude who you could just blindfold me and give me a record and say, make a beat with that. I can't do that. Like, I'll be in the studio listening to samples. I'll be like, oh, that's dope. I'm gonna put that to the side, but that's not what I want to make right now. Like, the music literally has to speak to me to be like, oh, now that's what I want to make. And I salute producers who can do that. I salute a producer who could just be given a record and make something crazy with it. So all that to say, man, just keep yourselves off social media. I Am God. Where can they get the music? Where can they follow you? Where can they get all the good stuff from you, man?
You can follow me at GawdMC. That's GAWDEMCEE on Instagram and on Twitter. Facebook artist page is I Am God. YouTube is I Am God. SoundCloud, all at I Am God. My last 2 projects, The Eternal Reflection and self-titled I Am God. You can get those streaming everywhere. I appreciate all the support. But if you really want to support, you could purchase both of those projects at godsgift.bandcamp.com. And it's GAWDSGIFT.bandcamp.com. Love all y'all, man. Appreciate everybody. Kill, Trey Lee, Eddie, Real. Y'all already know what time it is, man.
Trey
Chicago.
Lee.
Yes, sir.
You already know. Glory is still in effect. So
that's right. It ain't stopping.
Tell them all about it. Tell them where they can get it. Tell them what's going on. Tell them what's next. Tell them what's dropping at midnight. Tell them everything, good brother.
Yes. Go to TracyLeeMusic.com, man. You can get Glory. We are, still on the Glory Marathon, man. We about to drop the new video for Glory, the title track. We just dropped Dominion. We're about to drop Glory. We'll be making an announcement on that at the top of the week. But in the meantime, we got a little summer sauce for you right here. If y'all can see that right there, this is called Butter Soft, man. Butter Soft right here. Me and my man Jermaine, Hard Soul. It's just something for the summer. Something, to fill in a different gap. Something to get your groove on and all that. Because, hey, I like the grooves too, man. I can get introspective, but we like to party sometimes, man. And I ain't been outside in a long time. So, yeah, this is something for your barbecue, something for your cookout. Also, we got the merch. The Glory merch. We got the manuscript. I already showed you that. Everything on TracyLeeMusic.com. That's TraCeylee music.com. You can hit me up on IG at TracyLeeESQ. Hit me up on Twitter at Trey Lee, TRAYLEE. But again, this is matter of fact, you can go to my website right now and get that right now. Butter Soft. Me and Jermaine Harsoul. We'll cop that.
One last thing for me, I Am God and Dr. Mindbender on the way. Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. Soon to come.
Like that title, bro. Like that title.
Appreciate you.
Trey, what's that line? I think you said something about my favorite ball player. What was the line you said?
Trey, don't say it. Trey, don't say it. I said it.
I said, hold on. I said, we outside with all these women. You tripping. Or you better shoot your shot. No Ben Simmons.
There you go. There you go. You better shoot your shot. No Ben Simmons.
No Ben Simmons.
Shoot your shot, man.
There you go. There you go. Eddie, give them all your information, good brother.
All right, man. You can catch me at Twitter at EddieD80, Instagram Freestyles, my website freestyles.com. Man, I got reviews for both I Am God and Tracy Lee on there, man. You know, I'm just showing love to the independent artists. You know what I mean? There's so many dope independent artists out there, man. So when you're doing your list, you know, your end of year, your mid year list, you know, you talking about what's coming out, man. Yo, show love to the independents, man. They putting in the work. They putting out some dope stuff. And you know, this is an alley-oop to you, Kill. So, what's the scenario?
Yo, I'm horrible at doing this. Like, and this is a true story. I prayed. My goal for this year was to get sponsorship for the podcast. I got sponsorship, and I forget to fucking say it every fucking week. Like, it's what you pray for something, you get it, and God is like, nigga. Like, so, but yes. What is the scenario game? Me and Rel have still not won this game. We are just going to start playing on a Saturday afternoon, and until me and Rel win, we are not fucking leaving until we win this game. At SoWhatGames.com, use promo code Apartment5B to get free shipping. This game is guaranteed to have you arguing. We was in the middle of a game, and I texted Trey like, nigga, you got to see this shit that's going on with this shit right now, because the way let me just show you like the way it works and the way these cards are. Like, you know, you get in the battles with rappers, and it's like, what is it? What do we got to use? The white cards or the black cards? I ain't played them yet.
Give me.
Or we just use the black.
It's the black cards. It's the black cards.
And then you'll have flow. Like they got flow. LL's flows at 84, and I'm like, really? Deliveries at 91. LL's rhymes are 74.5. See, so when we play this game, my guy is on here who owns the game, and I'm always like, nigga, LL's rhymes are 74.5. LL Cool J, who's been relevant
that is
20
a Travis.
years,
That is
has a C minus. How can you even have you can't have a C minus. You can't. Radio came out when I was 10 years old. I Shot You came out when I was in college. You can't have a C minus and survived all those eras. But I love the game. I love the game because here's the thing. Without this controversy, there's no great conversation. So even though me and Rel haven't won, I love the game because you are going to have controversy. You're going to have some flags on the play. You were gonna not understand how this person. Eddie, I forgot who kept winning. I think Cameron kept beating Jay-Z. I have no idea, but it was something crazy that.
Something
I don't
crazy,
quote
man.
the trade, but it was something of that context that it was just like stop. Like
it was someone. It was someone unexpected that kept winning.
It would be like Ludacris beating, like, I don't know. Neither here nor there. It's a great game. What's the scenario?
Like Ludacris beating Biggie or something crazy.
Yeah,
right.
something crazy like that. Go to SoWhatGames.com, Apartment5B promo code, get free shipping. Rel, where can they get at you, good brother?
Uptown, J-Ben on the gram, J-Ben215 on Twitter. Just one shout out from Chicago with Hate. That song is crazy, man. That song is crazy. And then Trey, we talked about this on a previous podcast about how videos like can reinvigorate a song that you might have, you know what I'm saying? And with the million, I think you accomplished, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't one of my favorite songs on your project, but just seeing the video, it kind of, you know what I'm saying? It kind of just reinvest the song for you, you know what I'm saying? So I want to give both of y'all flowers for doing that, man.
That's love, bro.
Appreciate that.
It's a blessing to be on here with y'all. And
appreciate that, brother.
I'm still at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be gone, but I want to finish
long
this.
hours, B.
It's been real busy, you know, working and moving and all that stuff.
Well, here,
So-
the flowers to you on the promotion and a new homeowner. So congrats on both those things. That's
Super
huge, bro.
congrats, bro.
That's
Super
huge.
congrats on that.
Beautiful.
That's huge. That's huge. And you already know this with me, Kill889, Twitter, IG. We'll make beats for food. I'm somewhere starting shit, so you know it just is what it is. I love these two MCs up here. Support them. When people talk about there's no real lyricism or hip hop is dead or da 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 da, it's too much to look for. It's very easy. Here are two right here for you. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I guarantee that you will enjoy and love both of their projects that they put out. And also go into the discographies, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, dig. Once you love Glory, dig back and what else Trey got. You know, dig back else in what God is putting out, because, you know, both albums are incredible, man. So definitely, I will check y'all next week, y'all.